Ash Hill holds a secret that could change the poisoned world of Tenebrae forever. But shadows grow darkest near the light. Will the Lightbringers survive its discovery, or will they become just another secret of Ash Hill? Okay, let's get into it. Hey, welcome to Worlds Apart. This is our D&D adventure show. We've got Kat, Kiku, and Jenna on my left, playing CROWNAH, Tico, and Auredane. And very soon they'll all be level 4, and I can't wait. Before we get into it, I want to give a quick shout out to Kobold Press, who gives us lots of cool books to use in this campaign, to Wormwood Gaming, who's got us this very nice set of dice trays, which I love dearly, and... Eat them?
Can you not say these things? Can you just...
Wormwood, please. We assure you.
So tasty.
One of them is made out of chocolate, but you've got to find which one.
It's a Japanese game show, yeah. And last of all, thank you so much everyone who's supporting us on Patreon. Without you guys, none of this would be possible, even in the slightest, so... Y'all are the real heroes.
Can you stop saying that?
Previously on Worlds Apart, CROWNAH, Tico, and Auredane all arrived in Magpie's hometown of Ash Hill, which is a tiny village in northeastern Tenebrae that is overlooked by 3 dead ash trees. There, they met a variety of people, starting with the town's leader, a dwarf who went by the name of Hallis Gra. And they discussed with him what to do with Valorith, and eventually decided to lock her away in the town's armory. Following that, they all dispersed for the evening. Auredane met a fellow priest of Nerugol by the name of Vril Reskus, an aged man who came from the capital and who seemed to wish for Auredane's help in finding the bones of Nerugol himself. Auredane's a bit creeped out by this.
A little bit. I do love me some bones, though.
Only a little, though.
Only a little.
Tico met and drank with the town armorer, a tough gnome by the name of Garth Bolo.
I forgot about that.
Oh, legendary.
My new favorite NPC.
And they ended up talking a little bit about an elven sorcerer who lived near to the town who was named Zarus Reedling. CROWNAH finally visited Valorith in the town armory and struck a deal with her. If she would lead them to the hobgoblin warlord that had been terrorizing Ash Hill, known as the Iron Shadow, and helped them defeat him, she could win her freedom and be set free. Meanwhile, amidst all this, Magpie hadn't been seen all night.
No.
Somebody was supposed to keep an eye on Magpie.
She's digging up the treasure she buried when she was 6. It's a lot of old Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Hey, we found it!
Oh yeah, you guys wanna see my spell book?
No.
It's horrible. God, falling apart. Yeah, I found this when I was cleaning, and I was like, oh, this has like slots for cards in it.
Heart of the cards.
Oh,
The
yeah,
heart of the spell
That's what I
card.
have to deal with.
So that's where I keep my spells now.
It's also got like a yo-yo
A yo-yo?
What?
I'm talking about
this
her
fake treasure hoard that you've made up in your brain.
Yes. It's got a yo-yo and a bag of pretzels. It's probably just dust.
No, the pretzels disappeared after 24 hours.
Saranon, you are headed back from the Temple of Nergal, the newest building in town, the stone edifice. And as you make your way into the town square, you hear rapid footfalls on the cobblestones coming from the northeast.
I turn and look.
You turn and look, and you see a humanoid figure running right towards you. They are wrapped up in this dark gray, age-worn cloak, and the hood is pulled up.
Okay, can I see their face?
Make a perception check for me.
Okay. Is it a 6? 10.
10. No, their faces shrouded in shadow from this deep hood, but they are running directly towards you. You can hear their breathing. It's ragged, as if they've been running for several minutes. And that's all you're getting right now.
Okay, I'm gonna like take a ready stance, but I don't have any weapons out or anything. I'm
Okay.
just like,
So this figure runs right towards you, and when the figure is just in front of you, they skid to a halt and lean down, hands on their knees, breathing heavily for about 10 seconds before straightening up and pulling back their hood. And it's Magpie.
Oh, okay.
The sweat is just rolling down her brow. She pulls up a hand, wipes her forehead. Hey, I'm glad I found you.
Did you go out for a night run?
I went over to my old house.
Oh, is it not in this little...
It's a little farther out. It's closer to the mine.
There's a mine? Oh, of course there's a mine. You need stone.
Yeah. This town used to be, well, still is. This town is an old mithril mine. They've been digging it out of the earth for generations. Have you seen Tico anywhere?
Yes, I left him in the tavern. He was quite drunk.
Maybe I should save it for tomorrow then. Okay.
Okay, I think we all need a good night's rest.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna go find a room in the inn.
Yes, me as well. I will escort you.
Thanks. And the two of you head in. CROWNAH, are you headed back from... So, end of last episode, we cut kind of harsh in the middle of a scene because it was dramatic. So, what is CROWNAH doing right now? Is there any more that she wants to talk with Valorith about, or is she kind of done with that, heading back for the night?
We are passing that flask of shitty beer back and forth between the bars until it's done. And then CROWNAH will go to the inn and go to sleep.
Okay. At the end of it, Valorith has just leaned her forehead against the bar of the prison and just like, ugh. And that's where she kind of starts to doze off.
Okay. She just sort of like falls asleep, and I'm like, oh, okay, bye.
Okay. You all make your way back to the inn, the Thirsty Work, and you settle down for the night. Is there anything you want to do before sleepy time?
Yeah, I wanted to. Is there like a vase or a cup or something in my room? Maybe I need something to put incense in.
Sure. There's a. You get a tankard from downstairs.
Whatever works.
Pewter mug.
Okay, I'm gonna light 3 sticks of incense, and there's So Nergal, he's the god of the dead, not of death.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when people go on long journeys, like across the sea or whatever, and they're not sure if they're gonna come back, they'll have a Nergalian priest do. It's not like last rites, but it's something where if their soul passes on this journey, they have those rights, especially if it happens like in the ocean and they can't get their last rights. It's sort of a, I don't think you're dead, but if you are, here's this.
Sure.
And so she's doing that for Zeph, Mara, and Astrid.
Oh.
And as with all of her prayers to Nergal, she does it in Elvish.
Mm-hmm.
And normally she has all of those necklaces, right? And when she goes to bed, she takes them all off.
Mm-hmm.
And she has nightly prayers, and so she usually uses her holy symbol as her focus. But tonight she's gonna take the amulet she got from the priest and kind of stack them on top of each other.
Oh.
And kind of just like say the prayers into them, kind of across them, incense all over the place.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that amulet you got from Asheville still has that golden glow in its center.
Okay, cool.
And it, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. 15.
15. You're not really focused on the physical realm. You're kind of in a metaphysical prayer state. But as you are saying this prayer, sort of pseudo-meditating, you can sense the light and the previously there is no heat that emanates from this amulet that you have, but as you are in this contemplation, you can sense its light growing, and you can feel a faint heat against the front of your arms as you do so. But when your prayer ends and you open your eyes and you look, it's back to the way you remember it being. A tiny little coin-sized ball of light, emitting no heat.
Interesting.
So night does not fall, as you are aware of it. The red sun hangs always in the sky, but sleep does eventually claim you. And sometime later, you awaken. There is a very simple water clock downstairs that tracks the time through fluid motion, and it seems as though about 8 hours have passed, and people are once again beginning to fill the bottom, getting their breakfast, finishing their meals, and you all come down individually, and Magpie has already grabbed a table. She looks a little tired. Who comes down first from upstairs?
I was already down there. I fell asleep there.
Oh no, did no one bring you up?
Well, nobody said they did.
Is Darth Bolo still with you, Garth Bolo?
His name's Garth Bolo.
Not anymore!
Is there any kind of like bay window or something, or like a little like nook?
Where you and Garth are just tucked up?
Yeah, just snuggling.
In his full plate.
So yes, there's a little window nook here in this inn, and Tico, you have been placed, so it's got kind of a crescent shape, you know, a little padded thing, and you have sort of conformed to the crescent of the bench, and Garth Bolo himself is he's 2.5 feet tall.
He's the little spoon, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying. You know, I wasn't going to say that, but now that you've put this energy into the world, I feel like I have no choice.
Yes.
And so this 2.5 foot tall lump of like steel with a gnome inside of it is like this little spoon next to you.
Chico slept in much less comfortable situations. This is pretty choice.
His magic power is being able to fall asleep anywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a decent magic power, honestly.
Yeah, not really.
Me too.
So you awaken a little bit groggily, and make a dexterity check for me, please.
No.
Is this a hungover check?
Well,
For dexterity.
10?
10. So you sit up slowly and you yawn, and as you do so, you sling your feet over the edge, and you hear a kunk.
No, I'm so sorry, Bolo.
Hits the ground and like rolls a little way, and like everyone downstairs pauses for a moment and looks at him, and you just hear this long emitting from them.
That's me. That's me.
Are you Garth Bolo?
I guess.
So Tico, you're the first one up, and around the time you wake up, Magpie is just coming downstairs, and she looks over at you. Her eyes look kind of red.
Same.
Mm-hmm. And she sits down at a table, and the inn's owner, whose name is Hildred. Wow, nice.
That. I didn't even consult my notes.
And Hildred walks over, meets Magpie. They have a short conversation, and Hildred heads back to behind the bar. And Magpie catches your eye and beckons you over.
Okay. Tico kind of stumbles over.
Does he have to do a constitution check for hangovers?
Do you think Tico gets hangovers?
He's like this big.
Yeah, I think probably. And also, I don't think he, has drunk that much in his life. Some, but not a lot.
Right. Yeah, I think you have the littlest bit of a headache. No, actually, you guys are probably so dehydrated. Yeah, you've got a nasty hangover.
Yeah,
like you would probably just have a bad headache just from not having water, period. The fact that you've been drinking a bunch of alcohol.
Stay hydrated, folks. It's important.
But it's not a migraine, and that's what really matters.
There you go. Tico's one thing is that he's immune to migraines because
Magical resistance.
I
This
think
is
so.
this is wish fulfillment
all
fantasy.
about-
This is a power fantasy.
Because I'm trying to get some escape here.
Listen, I may be living in a nightmare hellscape, but at least I can't get
It
migraines.
sounds nice, actually. Sounds like a pretty choice deal.
Magpie greets you as you meet her at the table, and she says, "Looks like you didn't sleep too well either, huh?"
No, it's great. It's actually really nice.
Hey, I've got something to ask you, Tico. The place you're from, you came from, a town, a city? I saw you kind of looking at this place as we arrived.
It was a pretty big city, yeah.
Yeah, I'll bet this place is just a dinky little village compared to that.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a little kid, when I was 9 or 10, not long before, I got scooped up and taken to Blood Rock, I always dreamed of hopping on board a caravan of traveling adventurers and heading west down to Marinval, to the capital city, and going on adventures like in the stories I'd read. I'm not so sure I want to do that anymore.
That's okay. I mean, you don't have to. You could stay here and help out the town.
Yeah, that's true. They need it. They need it. I got another question for you. Do you have parents back home?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of?
Adopted?
Oh. But you love them like they're your own parents, yeah?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, you heard this the other day. The burgomaster, he said that my parents aren't here in the village anymore. That they were taken by this hobgoblin called the Iron Shadow.
Yeah.
And that he's out there somewhere. He's been preying upon this town for years and years. Do you think you're ever going to see your parents again, Tico?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's no way I'm not.
Yeah. and she laughs nervously right along with you, and she nods her head. And she looks away and takes a long drink.
Take a long drink.
Mm-hmm. No, I got all my long drinks out last time. And eventually she looks back at you and says, "I've got a plan to find my parents. Do you have a plan to find yours?"
Oh.
It's like like 8 a.m.
No.
Leave him alone. Do you love your parents? How do you get home?
How much do you love them? Prove it. I don't really know yet. I mean, we still don't really know where we are, but if you've got a plan to find yours, I want to help you.
Yeah. I'll gladly take it. I don't think I can do it on my own. I think I need CROWNAH and Saranon's help too.
I'm sure they're down. I mean, I'm pretty sure they also...
I know, you don't have to speak for them.
I'm sure they have.
CROWNAH's dad seemed real nice.
You seem like a pretty chill dude, so...
When I have a kid, I'm going to let him have parents, because it seems like a pretty cool thing to do.
These parents?
Yeah.
I think you like parents.
The parents are gone? Oh.
Stupid. No one's gonna get this. We're gonna have to put that YouTube link in this video.
This is the most inside of inside baseball. Magpie says to you, you don't have to speak for them. I'll talk to him myself, but... And she scratches her head, considering something. And she looks back at you, nods, and says, okay. When they come down, there's a place I want to show the three of you.
Okay.
And around this time, CROWNAH and Sarannon do come down.
Okay, well.
Speak for who now?
I'm like trying to get all of the beads and braids out of my hair, but it's way hard to do with one person, and it's like a rat's nest because it's been in there for 4 days now.
I bet it looks great, though.
I just come down the stairs. Does anyone have a hairbrush? I'm not kidding. Holding my hair like a baby.
Magpie looks up at you and she swoops her hand over her shaved head a couple of times.
I was not asking you.
I've got like a tiny little comb, you know, one of the ones they just sort of stab
Do
in
you
there.
think that will work?
No, I don't think so.
I've got
Also, no one else
daggers.
besides me has touched this, so I'm not offering it to you.
Well then thank you for telling me about your possession of not allowed to touch. Does anyone have a hairbrush?
You see,
I don't need
tied
a
together.
dagger!
Tied together, make it come.
I've never had a haircut in my life! You think I want 5 at the same time?
Hildred pops her head out of the kitchen and looks up at you, and she's got pretty serious braided hair also. Like, she's got this big long blonde hair that's all like curled into loopy braids and stuff. And she looks over at you and says, do you need a hand?
Several.
Listen, I'm busy, but... and she looks over at Magpie and says, hey, Magpie. And she tosses a key ring at her, and she grabs it, catches it, and says, in my room, on the dresser, can you handle that? And so she goes up, and a couple of minutes pass, and she comes back down, and she has this, like, heavy-duty hairbrush. It's all made out of wood. Like, it's been very finely and intricately carved. All of the different teeth of the brush are these tiny little wooden things. It seems like it'll work pretty well.
Okay, I'm gonna go slow with it so I don't break her hairbrush.
Fair. It looks like...
Made out of wood?
Mhm.
Just like scoop it right out of the ash trees up there?
It looks like it's been
wow.
carved from something. Yeah.
I thought everything was rocks.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Uh-oh. Oh, she's hiding something.
And yeah, it's actually, it's pretty delicate because as you're working through it, you see the truth of it, and it's the calcified, petrified wood from the nearby forest. It's been sort of carved like a rock into the shape of a hairbrush.
Well, again, it is a
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah, and like,
That's what petrified wood
It's been carved like what it is into
so like, yeah, as I'm doing my hair, you notice just like my hair seems to get longer and longer because it's that's finally coming out of the braid. It's probably a good foot or two taller than Sarah is at this point.
Oh my god, that's so much hair!
Yeah, she's never had a haircut. This woman is 25 years old.
That's fair.
But yeah, she's also taking all of these fucking beads out, just clunk, clunk, clunk,
It's
clunk.
just all being let out to like the dirty towel.
No, I'm like spooling it into my lap as I'm doing it. But you notice it's just more and more.
People are watching. You can see like the 10 other people in the tavern all just sort of looking at this. They're very entertained.
CROWNAH was gonna offer to help braid it, because CROWNAH can braid hair, but she's not gonna now.
She's intimidated.
It's too much of it.
We'll never finish.
Yeah, breakfast.
Yeah, it's coming.
Coffee? Kofi.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, fuck.
There's more beans. Can I have beer? A good morning beer will wake you right up.
Oh, I really don't want that.
We do have fresh water if you want it.
Oh, water!
I guess.
Water.
Coffee.
I
Yeah.
only drink tea.
Coffee in Auredane is so good though. It's such a good
You
thing.
speak as though you know. Have you been there?
I made this world, Jenna.
He's speaking as DM Joey, and not
I'm speaking as
Archie.
someone who has a perfect understanding.
I know exactly how hot these beans are!
I can
Give me
taste
some
it
of
on
that.
my tongue.
Give me some of that bean juice.
You
Please.
want bean juice? We can squeeze some of these limas.
Oh,
I
God.
wonder what that tastes like.
Lima coffee.
They do make like almond milk. I wonder if they make like bean milk.
Edamame juice.
We are
Oh, I bet it would be so good.
we are long gone. We are well out of this arena.
Alright, I'll take some water.
Yeah, you get water all around. Breakfast comes out, and it is exactly the same as what you had for dinner. It is this bland, tasteless wafer, and even by the second time, you're starting to get sick of this thing. But it does fill you up, and it does give you energy, and you are more awake at least.
Do y'all like cook meat or anything? Like I know the priests make you, bread and stuff. But you ever go out there and just roast a rabbit over the fire?
Magpie nods and says it's kind of a luxury. I don't think I've had, well, certainly after being at the prison for 10 years, I haven't had meat there in ages. But when I was a little kid, we would be able to go out into a larger village and purchase some meat for roasting like once a year or so. I mean, since nothing grows out here, foraging animals, it doesn't really happen. It's all livestock that gets fed this, and she points to the half-eaten breadish thing she's holding in her hand.
Oh.
No fish?
Mm-mm. Not as far as I know, anyway. The ocean is, I don't know, 20 leagues or so out that way, and it's,
I always saw that. Was that the one with all like the storms over it or whatever?
other direction. Yeah, right of the DM and left of the DM.
DM right and DM left.
Magpie is referring to, there is an ocean out east, and it's pretty close to the village, and it's pretty dead out there. It's all salt water, big crashing waves out on the rocks. But what you saw, the storm, yeah, there's a story about that storm, and it's that it's been chained to an island far out in the middle of the sea for centuries, and it's been slowly carving an ocean into the rock itself.
Do you know who made this storm and why?
Yeah, it's said that the storm was a failed attempt to create a god.
Oh,
And that
that's not good.
And that
Can't do that.
the Emperor, 3 or 4 emperors before Renaud tried to become a god himself, and he was transformed into this storm that would rage without end, and it was so devastating, it's so terrible that it took a hero. Heroes rose from the people and chained it to an island out in the far northwest of Tenebrae, and it's been raging there ever since, anchored to a single point. And it's said that there's it's safe in the eye of the storm, that people could live there even, but everything around it has, the very earth itself has been torn away, so it's nothing but ocean now.
Has anyone ever tried to dispel the storm?
It's too big. It's miles and miles and miles across.
Have many people tried to?
That's
dispel magic. Has anyone ever tried to spell magic on a storm?
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Listen, please, the on is unnecessary. The off is all we need.
Just unplug it.
And Magpie looks thoughtful for a moment, and she says, the legends I've read have never said anything about that.
You just gotta try.
We both have magic. We try.
I don't have dispel magic.
Oh.
Do you?
You know what? I don't think I do.
We can all just go up and yell at it very sternly.
And just be like, hey,
You'd be very good at that.
we got magic.
What accent is this?
Oh.
You'd be very good at that.
And I should say, now that you have completed a long rest, you are now level 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeehaw. We snap.
Sure doesn't feel like it, though, I gotta tell you.
I know. We take a long rest, like right now.
Yeah. All right, and now we're going to break and rest time. No, we're still going.
Back tomorrow.
So, there are emperors before Renault.
Yeah.
Do you think kings just live forever?
Well, I mean, he was kind of a weird skeleton.
Oh,
It wouldn't surprise me if he was way old.
You're way old.
It's early.
Magpie's scratching her chin, and she says, I don't really know too much history. It's all sort of like folklore and legends. It comes out to podunk towns like this.
Wait, let me... and I take out the book that had the picture of Renault in it.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything in here?
Just read this book.
Find the table of contents.
She
Get back to
takes
us.
it, and she begins leafing through it, and she says, she looks up and says, I think people who come from cities, anyone who came from the capital, would probably have a better knowledge of, actual history and not just folklore. And she looks through it, and she says, yeah, this is a history book, all right. And she's gonna make an insight check, and I'd like you to make an insight check also.
Is she gonna lie to me about it?
Oh, it looks like I'm the emperor. Whoa.
It says right
It's
here.
a 12. So Magpie begins reading a little excerpt from this book, and it's talking all about how great Renault is and how invincible the Empire is, and you very quickly get the idea that this is pure propaganda. If there is any truth in this book, in the history that it's telling, it's buried pretty deep.
You know who I bet would know? Our prisoner. I
Oh,
bet she knows a thing or two about the history of this place.
yeah, probably. Maybe.
I don't feel like talking to her right now, but, it's something we could ask.
Oh, now that I'm thinking about it, she puts the book down and she's, here, you should probably hold on to this for now. While you're all down here, I was talking to Tico about this because we woke up early, and she rubbed some sleep out of her eye. And I have an idea. I know you just got back from prison. Heck, I know I just got back from prison. And I know you all have your own plans, places you want to go. You're looking for a way home. I get it. I have a favor I want to ask of you. And it's this. I think that my parents are alive. I don't know. I don't have any proof of any evidence, but I have a feeling in my heart. And I want to find them. And I want to steal them back. And if I can, I want to kill the Iron Shadow. Because if we don't take his head, he's just going to keep plundering this village over and over and over again. And I feel like I've let my friends and my family and everyone I know here down. Because I was training to be a warrior when I was taken. I was training to be an adventurer like you, someone who could wander the world and see great sights and do great things. And I think someone must have gotten word of that because I was plucked right out of here in the next raid. But I'm older now. I'm stronger now. And I think I can take on this warlord. And I want your help to do it.
The Iron Shadow, he's a pretty big deal, right? Pretty famous around here?
Around these parts, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. I know your parents are alive.
Thanks, Tico.
I don't think you should encourage false hope, Tico.
What? No, I know.
What do you think,
I'm
Asarana?
pretty sure. Like, they gotta be.
I think it's a noble pursuit, you know? Let's do it.
Good.
I told ya, they love
and-
parents.
Also a reason I have so readily agreed to this. Not only, you know, you're our ally, etc., etc. We want to do right by you.
No, but honestly, I was a little surprised, CROWNAH.
Yeah, but also Valorith told me last night that she knows where the Iron Shadow is. And she's ready to strike a deal. Basically, she wants to be let out from jail, and she'll help you with this.
Are you sure she was not lying to you?
Yeah, why'd you go and talk to Val?
I don't know. She
No.
seems to have very selfish motivations, and that seems legit.
No, you know, I'll bet she does know where the Iron Shadow is. I mean, his gang, his hobgoblins took me to her.
Yeah.
I'll bet she keeps regular correspondence with that scum.
Maybe Valor can take us right into the Iron Shadow's, like, lair without having to fight our way there.
Yeah.
I wrote down the Iron Giant.
Bastard! Yeah, and my guess is that this Iron Shadow, he's a charismatic sort of guy. He attracts people to him. Minions, that is.
Oh, we have to get rid of him.
Well, I mean, I think
Is he
if...
also a wrestler?
Whoa.
There's only room for one of them in this group, so yes, we have to destroy him.
All I'm saying is that I think if we can get rid of him, everyone else will fall into chaos. You know, he might have some lieutenant or something that wants to grab control for himself if his leader goes down. But most of these hobgoblins, I mean, they're cowards. They're opportunists. They don't last without leadership. So if we can take out the head of the serpent, we can just go from there.
You have to burn the serpent's stump, though, or else two more come back. It's a whole thing.
Damn it!
What kind of snakes have you been tangled with?
The bad ones.
Okay.
They're
They sound pretty good to me. I like the sound of
I
these
mean,
snakes.
they taste good.
I'm taking
but-
notes. This is canon. One-headed Hydras. Anyway, Magpie says, we'll kind of have to play it by ear. I don't have that much of a plan, honestly.
Well, we won't have to play it by ear if we ask Valorith.
True. Hey,
What if she betrays us?
Oh, she will. She will find a way.
She'll try.
well,
But I have her holy symbol, so she can
Or-
do magic.
well, if
I don't
she-
know. How did she...
You have a sword.
I do have her sword. She indicated an interest in getting to the bottom of all of this, like why we're here.
I would also like to know
I
that.
would like to know.
Yeah, so I don't know that she's gonna betray us before she figures it all out. I would not expect anything from her, but I'm
Except
saying
betrayal.
I don't know. She seemed like she wanted to genuinely, you know, stick around with us.
Are you just saying that because you think she's attractive?
Oh!
Is that what people do?
Oh!
No, she is attractive.
Oh,
kind of.
is
She's
she?
kind of a hot mess. I'm not into that.
Hey, if she stabs us in the back, then we're
Stab her in the
totally
back?
justified in killing her right off the bat.
do
I mean,
have
that's
that.
justice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got like 8 daggers, man.
Hey, before we get Valorith and before we start roaming, there's someplace I want to show you all.
Oh, there's
Okay.
also a place I want to go, but we could do yours first.
Okay. Where is it you want to go, Tico?
I want to see Zerus.
Okay. You know, he's actually on the way. I'm going to take you to the Ash Tree Hill.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Let's go see Zerus. Yeah. His hut is on the way. And is there anything? Is there anything you guys want to gather before you head out? Like, this is not your trip out into the wilderness. This is a short jaunt to the edge of town, basically. So you gather your simple pack, just the necessities for taking a little hike.
A whole ass bag of holding.
Yep.
With nothing in it.
There's things in it. There's a robot head in it.
Do you know what else is in it, though?
Can I check the bag of holding?
Absolutely.
Look through it real quick.
You look through it, and
I'm gonna go up to my room and look through it.
Well, no, we need to know what's in it, too.
But like everyone's here. Okay, we can all go up to my room and look through it.
Okay.
Okay.
1 sec, Magpie. We have to go look in a bag.
Okay. You look in the bag. You go up to CROWNAH's room, and you look in the bag, and you find the things you expect. You find the head of Agranek, the Shield Guardian.
Sorry, my what's in the bag joke was great when there's a head in there.
My poor boy. I'm just like, oh my.
You find the stuff that you've stowed in there already.
But what is it? We don't know.
I have a military greatcoat in there.
Okay.
What else do you got?
Potion of healing. Great potion of healing.
Wait, you're putting your personal possessions in our bag of holding?
Yes.
I mean, you can put your personal possessions in our bag of holding.
I've been carrying around this shit.
I mean, go ahead, dump it right in.
I like to have it with me.
But here is the thing that you don't expect to find in there. You find what can only be described as a very, very long human spine.
I'm like rifling through with CROWNAH, and I'm like, this feels familiar.
It's like easily twice.
Did you rip it out of someone?
Is it the staff?
Yeah, it is the bottom half of Renault's staff.
Did I put that there?
You don't recall putting that in there.
I didn't put it in there.
I don't think I put that in there.
Well, you were the... Wait, who last held it? Was it... I think it was Mara.
Mara did.
She broke it.
She broke... But how did it get in the bag?
Maybe we can get back to Mara in the bag.
I hold up...
I just
go
jump
in
the bag.
You like stick a foot in.
Do you do that? Do you try and go in the bag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Genuinely.
No. We like totally.
So you are 1 foot in the bag, as they say, and you feel your calf get very, very cold. It is chilly in that bag.
Meanwhile, I'm like examining the staff. I'm going to just real quick do a identify as a ritual.
Okay.
So I'm just 10 minutes. I gotta do this real quick, make sure it's not
Okay, Magpie's waiting down there.
That's too bad.
It's taking an awful long time up there. Okay, you cast identify as a ritual.
That's what we say. We have to go look at the bag. Code word.
This is very funny, especially because this is like medieval times where an outhouse would be not on the second floor in the slightest.
We're just gonna go poop in the corner.
Yeah, there's like a little hole we've carved in the floor.
God. No, there's just a bucket with a spell of banishment on it. Or a bag.
What plane is it going to?
It's the poop plane.
The bag of holding.
It's going to the bathroom.
I hate this.
Okay.
Chico's gonna yell into the bag and say,
"Hello."
He's like, he doesn't understand magic, okay?
Yeah.
And he doesn't really understand the bag of holding either.
You know, there's not that much space in it. It's
well,
like
how did this get here without any of us putting it there then? Maybe there's some sort of portal.
Can I dump out the rest of the stuff in the bag? Like, what else is in there?
Sure.
So other than the bottom half of the staff, only the things you've put in there are in there.
Okay, just a human spine. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we don't know it's human.
It's definitely too long to be a human spine. I mean, this is like a 6 foot long spine right here, but it looks humanish enough.
Is it like diameter wise human?
Let's see, it's.
How big is your spine, Joey?
Well,
how big is your spine personally?
Yeah.
From experience, I can tell you my spine is all sorts of messed up.
Say.
Yeah. I mean, it's a staff. It's probably a little bit wider around than a normal spine would be. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I'm looking.
Tell me its magic.
I'm looking at how identify works, and the first thing you learn is that it is broken, and not only in terms of like physically broken, but its magic is inoperable in its current state. There is a powerful aura of necromancy that envelops this staff. This staff's magic is incredibly depleted, and only reuniting it with its other half will restore its full power.
Okay.
Second, if you attune to it, you gain the following properties. The first one is you can cast Animate Dead as an action while attuned to it. There's a recharge mechanic also. The other property, however, is while attuned to the artifact, other creatures cannot take short or long rests while within 300 feet of you.
300 feet, you say?
Wowzers.
You'll have to put your bedroll very far away from us.
Yeah.
I'm not going to attune to this. This is a thing of great evil power.
Oh no, I didn't expect you to.
I'm gonna put it back in the bag. I'm tired of this thing.
How did it get in the bag? I swear we didn't put it there.
Magic!
Don't prey upon his ignorance.
I know you're lying.
It probably was magic,
That's
but I
very
don't
mean,
know.
Sarah.
But did Renault put it there?
Unkind.
You would know. I don't know.
As if Renault can put that there, then what else can Renault do?
Don't linger on it. It'll be fine.
Oh,
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It will be fine. Don't look behind you at Sarah.
Okay, well, the spine is going away now. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. No.
Say goodbye to it, or something else will come in the bag.
And it's...
And, like, with my other hand, I, like, lift it back up a little bit.
And
He's
it's
coming back!
You are much meaner than I thought you were.
It's early!
Terrorizing.
My hair is fucked up and it's early!
And I haven't had
lying.
coffee.
I know she's lying.
So putting the
Just in case
spine
fine.
back in the bag is like a magic trick, because like this bag is maybe 12 inches deep and this spine is 6 feet tall, and so it's just
Mary
like
Poppins bag.
exactly. And
Does it make that exact noise? The
uh-huh.
spine?
Yeah. Yep. In fact, listen. You can imagine in your brain space that every single sound effect is just me making noises with my mouth. Boom, boom, ching, ching, kung. That's just how. That's just what.
It's Harrison Ford making pew
That's the
pew
sound I
noises.
make when I fall down the stairs.
What, pew pew?
Pew,
How
pew.
often are you falling down the stairs these days?
She doesn't have these little legs.
Yeah, I don't have them. Just like Marguerite the donkey.
Oh, Marguerite. Are we talking about Marguerite?
No, we're not. We're going downstairs.
You gotta go to the potion cellar.
We're going to the motion cellar now. Fast forward.
You fast forward.
Yeah.
You get your stuff. You head out into the town square. You go up the path towards the north, heading towards the hill with 3 ash trees dead upon its top. And Magpie's out in front, and she's making light conversation. She's like, "Yeah, I've heard about this potion seller, this alchemist before," and talks about him a little bit. He's an elf that's lived here for like longer than anyone can remember. And after about a half-mile's trek down this path, through this field of strange purplish grass that crumbles to ash when you step into it or touch it. Yeah, just sort of.
Oh.
Yeah, you touch it and just crumbles into.
I want to try and just like close my
Snort
book
it.
around one.
All right.
Poof into dust.
Yeah. So you do that, boom, and this big cloud of purple dust goes right up into your face.
But you love it, because that's what Nerigol's priest loves.
That's what
Plant dust.
Snorting powder.
It's... So your book, those pages are covered in purple dust now.
Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. We'll find another grass or no, we won't.
We'll find something. Maybe I'll put a rock in there. Just
And-
a very flat one, you know.
Like a skipping stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you go for a little bit longer until you find this little hut. And it's a stone hut, much like most of the other buildings in the village. And there is a chimney and a thin little curl of smoke is coming out of the chimney. You can see through the window in front that this elf, who you saw only very briefly when you entered the village for the first time last afternoon, this thin, kind of short elf with a very frail-looking build and short white hair is standing over this huge iron cauldron and is stirring something with a metal spoon.
Just has his door open?
No, you can see through a window.
Oh, yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, we shouldn't be spying on him like that.
Can we go in?
I'm gonna knock.
No.
I'm gonna knock.
I'm gonna go in.
It's Sam's house. You're just gonna walk into
Tico
his
goes
house?
to knock and CROWNAH like gets in between Tico and the door.
Don't mind my
Excuse
dude.
me?
I'm still gonna knock.
Yeah,
even
so
though
as
the door
CROWNAH's
is
opening
open.
the door, you're like, knock, knock, knock.
Meanwhile, I'm just standing behind them like, yeah, right.
I wanted to make a good first impression.
We're buying goods from this man. We don't need to be nice.
And the elf looks over at you, and you can see that he has immensely pale skin and these deep red eyes, or red irises anyway. And he says, hello.
No, he doesn't! Change that voice right now!
No, you can't change it. You can't change it.
I can't.
What do you want?
I hate it.
You okay, dude? You look rough.
I hate it.
I'm fine.
Can I buy a potion?
I should hope that you're in the potion buying business, because it is the business I run.
I have to go home right now, Hannah.
Stevie's canceled.
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Zarus Riedling. I am surprised you are new in the village, and most people in the village do not know of me.
You are sounding more and more pleasant as he's talking more. And this is such a relief.
I know, I thought you were gonna be some sort of freak, but you're definitely not.
Yeah, I was gonna.
That was not.
No, I led with this guy like he was riffraff from Rocky Horror, so you know.
Yeah.
Look like Riff Raff too.
Oh, I mean, not really.
Well, I mean, Magpie here told us about you. Can I buy some healing potions?
You're making fun of it.
No.
Healing potions.
I'm like standing in the doorway, just like,
Yes, I can provide you with healing potions.
Cool, how much?
Your friend is very matter of fact.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time goofing around at the cavern.
So we gotta chop.
Yeah, let's speed this one along.
I don't want to listen to him talk no more.
Well, I have some questions, so hold your horses.
So as far as this transaction goes, Zarus has a stock that includes 4 normal potions of healing and 1 greater healing potion. The normal ones sell for 50 gold a pop. And the greater ones sell for twice that.
Yeah, we got
How many silver and a gold again?
10.
I have
Not that.
500 silver.
Wait, how'd you get that?
Stole it from Valorant.
Took it from her office, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't I do that?
I'm more responsible with money. So, if I wanted to buy one of those,
Do the math. You have to do the math. Our GM is going to make you do math in order to earn this potion.
50 gold equals 500 silver.
I don't have that money anymore. I've only got 498 because it's been $2.
Yeah, but I had 2 silver.
We don't need a healing potion. I have healing magics.
Okay, but what if the rest of us
I have
hurt
1 healing potion
and
left.
you aren't around to patch us up? Or, like, you decide to let us die because, you know, it's our time or whatever, you know?
Interesting that you would say that.
Hey, while they're talking, can I ask? I'm gonna ask while they argue. Zarus.
Yes.
We're not like from around here.
Yes.
I was wondering, where do elves come from?
Well, the two elves love each other very much.
Well, but you see, that's not true.
Okay, but do you know that?
Yes, Chico does know that.
He has 3 elven parents.
They would lie
So make,
No, they know that. That's why they adopted him.
make a persuasion check.
Okay. Oh, 19.
Oh, Zerus raises his eyebrows, showing you those big red eyes of his.
His eyebrows? I was really picturing him without eyebrows.
Well, he raises his brows at least.
Is he albino since he has red eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Tight.
The jury is out on whether or not he has eyebrows, but you see his forehead crinkle a little bit. And he then looks at you and seems to appraise you positively and nods and says, I live in this village because, oh my god, I can't do a serious moment with this dumbass voice I've constructed.
I was bringing a serious moment to the table. And
yeah,
came here.
his serious voice is just, oh, thank you for asking.
He coughs and his voice gets better.
Oh, we're having a serious moment? Well, then.
I gotta turn off my work sona.
This is my customer service voice.
Has a Russian accent.
You don't want me to say work sona?
I don't.
All right, I think that you can make it serious because there are serious Russians in the world.
Oh my god! If this is a Russian accent, I've been doing a bad job of it. And he looks at you and says, "Yes, elves, indeed. I live in this village because I chose not to go far from my home. I came to this place because I did not wish to go far from my original home. There is an island out east, my people's ancestral homeland, that is ruled by a terrible tyrant of the ocean that drove us from that place."
Is that the same place as the storm?
No.
Oh, okay.
The storm is in the opposite direction. So the storm is DM left, and the place I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah. That land, for many hundreds of years, my people called it their home. But no longer. No longer. We had to flee. We had to flee when the oceans rose, when the storms grew too powerful, when the trees began to die.
It's global warming for you.
Mm-hmm. You could go there if you wish, but you would perish. You would be eaten by the king who rules from below.
What is his name?
We call him the Kraken.
So, you said that your people fled when the oceans rose and the trees died. You were here when they were still green.
Indeed I was.
Do you recognize any of these?
And I pull out my plant book again and I let him flip through.
Ooh.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Oh no. I don't let him hold it, but I hold it for
You
him.
hold
and
it
I
for
flip.
him, yeah, and he looks and says, "Yes, I remember. I remember this. The look of green. The look of these leaves. These leaves are familiar to me."
Which ones?
Make a list.
Oh, and he points out a number of them, and these are all leaves that you and Zephyr collected in your travels through Black Vault and other parts of Eastern Auredane.
Where are the rest of the elves?
Oh, we are scattered. Many of them have retreated to personal hiding places to live like me as a hermit away from the world. Well, I'm not really a hermit. I live next to a village, but I'm a
Hermit adjacent.
hermit adjacent. That's fair. Most of my kin, they live in caves or other secluded places. Some of them, a great many of them, now are some of the servitors of Marinval, the dead who serve beyond life.
What does that mean?
They are part of the wall that surrounds Marinville.
No, they are not. They are not a wall. Marinval, the capital, ruled by Renaud the Necromancer, has bound their bones to his service, and they serve him beyond life. So many elves and indeed other people who were too poor to become part of the elite, the rulers of that city, were cleansed as people fled from destruction. And those people, those refugees of danger, were cleaned up. And now they serve at the Emperor's behest.
As the undead?
Yes.
Hey, I have another question. I broke. Sorry. Maybe this is indelicate.
His attitude has definitely soured over the past few minutes.
Where we come from, this is a lot to take in, I know. We come from another dimension.
We're just telling everyone.
There are many worlds far beyond this. I'm sure your story is plausible. He shrugs.
Where we come from, elves have not been able to be born. How did they say that?
Yeah, no more elves can be born.
No more
I'd say that's
elves.
fair.
Yeah.
They have reached their capacity. The only way is to murder another elf so the spirit can be born again.
Is that also true here?
Yes, but not for the same reason you're talking about. If what your friend says is true, then the number of elven spirits in the world, there are no more free in the ether to be made into bodies. That is a problem that the elves of your land are suffering from.
I think.
There are many elven spirits who are free in my land, in Tenebrae. And if we could do so, we would create more so that our people could live on and live free. But doing so requires communing with the spirits of nature. And to the best of our knowledge, no such spirits remain in this land. If nature has been destroyed, as it has, then my people are beyond saving.
This is kind of a downer. Can we buy a potion or not?
Yes, I grow weary talking of such dim subjects.
I'm sorry.
Can we huddle real quick? We have enough money to buy maybe one.
Well, we gotta buy it now. We just pumped him out real bad.
Okay, do you have 2 silver?
I do. Yeah. I can give you one. Yeah.
Okay. We have enough money.
And he assembles these 500
have one
silver.
to share.
No, I mean, we each gave a silver to you.
Did we?
Oh,
We both said we had one, so.
okay.
Tina's such a good influence.
Just looks at her expectantly for like, oh, where's your silver? Where's your silver?
Yeah.
It's like ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
It's
like
500 coins. Yeah, I mean, it's literally like paying with dimes, this thing. And so Zarus arranges the pile of 500 coins, and he lightning fast counts them. You don't know how he does it, but he just seems to... He draws his finger up and down 5 times, and then he nods.
Opens.
Yeah. And he says, yes, this is exactly what I needed. And he wraps it up in... He like produces this little cloth from his sleeve, and he wraps it up in a bundle and ties it.
Oh,
And
magic
he
shrooms.
puts it underneath his shelf. And he says, potion of healing for you. Whoop. And that's the sound it makes.
Did they come in fun colors?
This one is a deep... No, not deep. This one is a light blue.
Can I get a pink one?
No.
Can I get a purple one? Can I get a red one?
No.
What do you have against blue?
That's nice.
From the
This is just me being a dick.
From the ingredients I make them from, they are blue.
They are blue. Okay.
Maybe
and-
keep this in the bag.
And he actually so your Auredanian potions of healing, if you have any, are red, and the deeper red they become, the more potent they are. And now be wary. Other potions that less scrupulous makers create can be made to look like this. Poison can be made to look like this. But if you cork it and you smell almond or vanilla, it's good. If you uncork it and you smell fruit, acid, sort of ketone-y smell, not good. Probably will kill you. That's all I have to say.
I have detect poison, so we should be good. But thank you for the smell check. Thank you. Also, I miss your old voice. Can we bring back the non-voice?
Yeah, I think I've lost it. I think it's been lost to time. Yeah, I need to go a little more nasally.
Just kidding, I hate it again.
That voice is impossible. It is untenably goofy for such a long period of time.
You can't save it. Sorry, I had to make it serious. I want to know about the elves.
No, it's good. I'm glad you heard about the elves. Anyway, he says, good luck, adventurers. I found it. Good luck, adventurers. Enjoy your travels.
Thank you. I'm glad you got your voice back.
We're gonna,
We have to get out of here.
We gotta go.
if we,
We need to leave.
yeah, if we go to Marenball, we should see about freeing some of those elves.
Oh, for sure. We can't let a wall of undead souls stay around. They have to...
They're not a wall.
There is a wall.
There is a wall, but it's
Yeah.
it's Calumbra. There is a wall of souls up along the Devil Nation.
Confusing me. These two undead things. There can only be one undead thing at a time.
Only one undead thing at a time. There's just too much that's triggering your I can't say spidey sense. It's triggering your death detector.
Nighty sense.
Your diety dents, yeah.
I don't have batteries in my death detector right now.
Jesus.
All right,
Okay,
so we
Good
go.
joke.
Bye.
Okay, you leave Zarus behind. You have your healing potion. Who takes it, by the way?
I'll just
We'll
put it in the
bag.
bag of holding.
Cool.
Because if we start to get hurt, I can fend for myself and also you, but it might be easier for you to have better access to it.
And I already have one in my inventory.
Oh,
Cool.
shit. Okay.
And
Cool.
so you make your way northward towards the hill of dead ash trees. And while you're on your way, we're going to go to break. We're going to take a break, get some water, and snacks.
Next.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm starting to shake me.
Yeah. All right. See you later. Bye, guys. Hey there, I'm James Haeck, your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, and welcome to the middle of the episode. Today, I want to talk real briefly about our sponsor, Kobold Press, our good friends at Wormwood Gaming, and about the amazing people who support us on Patreon. As you know, Kobold Press is the publisher of the Tome of Beasts and the Creature Codex, two incredible tomes of monsters that I use in nearly every episode of Worlds Apart, but did you know that they recently opened up a new adventure for pre-order? Courts of the Shadow Fae is a 5th edition adventure of courtly intrigue and epic romance in the shadowy lands of the Fae. This adventure is a modern classic, lovingly updated to 5th edition by my good pals Wolfgang Bauer and Dan Dillon. They've done an amazing job with this adventure. You should check it out and pre-order it on koboldpress.com. I will put a link to it in the doobly-doo down below. And also, there's a special edition, a limited edition of this book with a unique leatherette cover, poster maps, and more, available for pre-order now. But they're only printing 100 copies, so it's a real collector's item. Next up, I want to show off one of the dice trays that our pals at Wormwood Gaming were kind enough to send our way. This is the beautiful black poisonwood dice tray that Kiku uses in-game. The tree it comes from, the black poisonwood tree, is actually from the same family as poison ivy, and its bark contains that same little itchy irritant. Fortunately, this deep, deep wood is completely safe, and just look at that gorgeous color. If you have room in your budget for luxury D&D accessories, you just can't go wrong with Wormwood. They aren't paying us to say that. They're just our friends, and I want to see them do well. Lastly, I want to thank everyone who's supporting us on Patreon. Thanks to you, we've just hit our podcast goal, and we can now produce Worlds Apart as a podcast in addition to a YouTube series. We haven't uploaded any episodes yet. They're still being produced by the incredibly deft hands of Rudy Basso, known for his podcasts over at Don't Split the Podcast Network, also friends of the show. But they're coming soon. I'll be sure to let you know when they launch, and I just gotta say your support means the world to me. Thank you all so much for being our patrons. If you aren't one of our patrons yet, I would love it if you could throw $1 or $2 our way. It helps us recoup the cost of all the equipment and software we use to make this show, and it paves the way for new big things like hiring podcast editors, hiring people to provide closed captions to make our videos more accessible to a deaf or hard of hearing audience, and more things in the future, maybe. If you can't throw any money our way, I totally understand. But there is a way you can still support the show without even opening your wallet, and that is spreading the word. Telling people that you are loving Worlds Apart. Tell them in person, on Twitter, on Facebook, over the phone, and point them to our YouTube channel. Okay, that's all for now. Let's get right back to the show. See ya. And we're back. Right before that break, the party was headed to the Hill of Dead Ash Trees to learn a secret that Magpie wished to show them. You have made your way now to the base of the hill, and from here you can see a thin, winding path that curls around the hill in a spiral and leads up to those three skeletal trees that seem to stand statuesque atop of the hill. Magpie says, okay, the place I want to show you is hidden in a cave underneath this hill. I found it, well, about 10 years ago, actually, not long before the raid in which I was taken happened. Here, come with me. And she begins to go counterclockwise around the hill.
Can you promise to not murder us in this cave?
She looks back at you and actually laughs a little bit. She says, you guys would beat me up. I'm outnumbered.
Oh, no. I mean, that's absolutely true, but I don't want to have to deal with the mess. And also, you're like, cool, and I don't want to lose that.
Yeah, Magpie's not gonna murder us.
Is this cave, is there any local legend that it's haunted at all?
As far as I know, I'm the only person who knows about this cave.
How'd you find it?
I was just exploring one day. It's still really young.
I have kind of mixed feelings about caves, but...
Will you be okay to go in this one?
Perhaps. Let's get to it and we'll see. No, it's...
You can guard the entrance
She is
to the
very
cave.
big.
Yeah, maybe. Let's go.
I think you'll want to see this one, Sarah. So you make your way to the north end of this hill, and Magpie points out a tiny little... Magpie points out a tiny little fissure in the ground that's been grown over with... Well, not grown over per se, but that's been covered with loose rocks that have slid down the hill. And she says, I don't think anyone before me has seen this little crevice, so... Here. Sarah, would you help me move some of these rocks?
Sure.
And she begins, she points towards where, and she begins moving little, basketball-sized rocks out of the way. and after
Go babe beef.
And after 5 or 10 minutes of lifting and pushing rocks out of the way, there is a hole in the ground that is certainly wide enough for a lithe magpie to fit through, and just barely wide enough for broad-shouldered Saranon to squeeze through as well. And she says, "It's right down here. It's only a short tunnel. It widens out pretty quick." And she says, "Come on in." And she just kind of hops in.
Tico also hops in.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I slide down.
Right. Saranon, it takes a little bit of work for you to, just wedge yourself in. And I want you to make a perception check really quick.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. She's the green one.
Can we, as she's trying to get her lower half in, just like jump up and wrap ourselves around her legs to try to get her?
Yeah.
Pull
Hold
my
on
pants
1
down.
second.
I got a 13.
13. So you're trying to fit yourself into this hole in the hill, and you look up and you see the silhouettes of those 3 trees standing against the sun, and you think you see motion among them. Something separates from the silhouette of the westmost tree, and then just before you have a chance to see what this human shape moving out of the tree is, you feel someone pulls on your legs and you slide down through the rest of the tunnel, and you land on your butt in a 10-foot tall, 10-foot wide cavern that continues on deeper and deeper below the hill.
Magpie, is there a way to block this tunnel back up?
I mean, we could cover it with rocks. I never felt the need to cover it in the first place. No one ever knew about it.
I think I saw something in the tree. The trees.
Something in the trees?
I saw movement. I don't know. If you think that no one else knows where this spot is, I don't want anyone else finding it.
Could it just be like one of the villagers?
Yes, but if it isn't, I'd rather be safe.
Okay.
Especially since there's been so many hobgoblins attacked. I don't want to be attacked by a bunch of hobgoblins in a cave.
I don't want them to find out about this place either. There's not... She looks around. This tunnel is fairly wide. It's full of really hard-packed dirt and rocks. And she says, there's not a lot of natural material around here to really plug up the hole with.
You have the cloak. Stuff the cloak up
No,
there.
you know what? Put your portable hole right where we all fell.
Like pin it up there?
No, like make a little pit trap
Like trap all hobgoblins in our hole.
I mean, it's only like 10 feet tall. They could get out of there eventually.
Yeah.
I could use Mage Hand and reach it back up through the hole and like scrape gravel over the crack.
That would only be able to lift 5 pounds worth of stuff, though. That wouldn't do for too much.
I mean, if there's like loose gravel and stuff, I could just sort of...
Yeah, but then it's just going to fall in the hole.
Yeah, that wouldn't do too much.
Okay.
Let's see. Do I have anything?
I'll just put the hole there. That's fine. Then at least,
Put the hole, like, in the chute.
Yeah. Just put it
Harder
there.
to get out of.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Watch out, everybody. Watch out.
So are you, like, putting it right in front of the tunnel, or are you going to put it, like, back up in the tunnel a little bit?
Put it back up in the tunnel.
I thought I was putting it like right underneath where they would come in through the hole.
I mean, both will work.
Okay.
Cool. So you spread it out right in front of where they will fall out of the hole. And Magpie nods and says, okay, that should definitely buy us some time, at least, if something comes down here. We should be all right. She strikes some flint against tinder and lights up a little lantern. And it's this sort of simple hooded lantern. And she holds it up and says, come on, this way. And she begins heading down this long tunnel. And it sneaks around and seems to be descending slowly at a very, very gentle sort of slope.
I forgot to ask Zarus about my dagger.
Oh!
When we get back,
Sarah
just
can
stay
identify it.
alive.
Okay.
Yeah, I could.
Tico says that out loud in that voice.
Yeah, it's like an intrusive thought just comes in as you're wondering.
I just remembered this.
I can look at it later. Or we can go back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I just
It's okay. It's not a lot else to think about down here.
Let's see. None of you are really proficient with underground.
I was gonna cast Produce Flame,
Okay.
just so I can have a little fireball with me, see
Don't
better.
you have dark vision?
Yeah, but
Okay.
dark vision's in grayscale. It's bright light for 10 feet.
True.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so you've got a
And
little...
Tico doesn't have dark vision.
Nope.
You've got a little fire in your hand.
And
Keep it
if
in-
someone comes, I can throw it at him.
Nice.
Ooh. So, it's a weapon.
So you continue wandering down this tunnel for what feels like about 100, 200 feet, and you eventually come to a smaller, almost like a doorway, like an arch, a threshold. And through this threshold, the path turns really suddenly, but from beyond that turn, you can see a very faint light being shed. And Magpie says, okay, open flames, we should douse them. And she goes to her lantern and
I can dispel mine.
you dispel.
What was even the point of the lantern?
Well, you went down 200 feet. And you are suddenly engulfed in darkness. You two can see reasonably well in grayscale, but Tico, all you can see is this glow of yellowish light coming from beyond the threshold.
I've got my hand on CROWNAH's, back cloak part.
Nice.
Just grabbing the fur in the vest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so I don't get lost. Like a kid in a grocery store.
You're a grown man, Tico!
Like a grown man in a grocery store.
Oh my god.
That's fair.
And Tico, you see Magpie silhouetted against the light, against the threshold. And I'd like you to make a perception check real quick.
Well, 13?
Okay. There is a very faint tremor in the earth, a little shaking, but you're not sure if that's like a tiny earthquake or if you just sort of slipped in the dirt. Something caused you to lose your footing for just a moment, but you recover from it readily.
Okay.
Magpie goes in through the doorway and turns towards the faint light. Do you follow her?
I want to do a perception check real quick, just see if I can hear anything from where we came from.
Sure.
I'd like to do an insight check on Magpie.
Absolutely.
I got a 21.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Very nice.
I have a +4.
19.
Very nice. So first of all, let's do CROWNAH first. Insight check on Magpie. You are worried about betrayal?
Yeah. Or that she might be leading us into a dangerous situation.
Leading you into a trap. Insight check 19. Here's what you feel. My read of CROWNAH is that she's not a naturally distrustful person, but she's been burned in her life for being too trusting before. You definitely are on edge, but you also know that you can't think of what Magpie has to gain by leading you into a trap right now.
Okay, but not a trap necessarily, but is she leading us into a situation that she knows is dangerous?
She seems pretty calm.
Okay.
She seems pretty calm. She seems actually very very enthusiastic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. However, Saranon, you did hear a thud very faintly from high up above you, farther up that passage.
Magpie, is it just no open flame in that room?
And she pops her head back around the corner and she nods and says, "Yeah, I would prefer no fire at all in this room we're going into."
Okay, well, I think we have a guest. I heard something from above.
Oh, good.
I thought I felt something.
Then we should move quick. Here.
Okay.
And she beckons towards you and disappears back behind the corner again.
I'm gonna follow her. Yeah, I'll follow her too.
You follow her?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow her, but I'm gonna kind of hover in the doorway.
You're gonna...
I want to see what's going on, but I want to be able to...
Okay. And as you turn the corner, you can hear the trickling of running water. And Tico, actually, it takes your eyes a second to adjust to the sudden light. You go about 20 feet back into the curving passageway, and the light here is not dim at all. You have emerged into about a 40-foot diameter circular cavern that is filled with water and light and growing plants.
Oh, Nazca.
There is a pool in the center of this chamber that has a tiny island with bright green grass growing on it and a tiny tangle of flowers and thorny brambles that seems to be bursting out of this little island and draping into the water. And all around this circular chamber are clay plant pots that have been filled with soil and have little fresh sprouts. Actually, no. Some have withered entirely into this little brown crinkled mass, but there are several plant pots that seem to be holding saplings, tree saplings that have been growing for many, many years. Well, at least a decade.
Where's the light coming from, as far as we can tell?
That's a good question. The light is coming from that tangle of weeds in the center of the pool of water. You can't see what is causing the light to emanate. It's kind of obscured by those creeper vines that have made a bit of a cocoon around it.
So the entrance to this room, was there a door?
No door. You went in, and there is a curve in the passage, and then that passage widens out into a circle.
I want to look around the room and see if I can see any symbols of Kiev.
Okay.
11.
11. Okay, here's what happens. I will let this check be as successful as you want, if you're willing to take 10 minutes to do it. Because if your 11 is just like a quick, then you're not going to see much of anything.
I don't know if we have 10 minutes. Yeah, I do want to look though.
Okay, so you'll begin, and if you have to do anything else, you can start it up again later. So you begin looking around. What are you doing, Tico?
I'm gonna turn to Magpie and say, who did all the planting?
She, like at the clay plant pots,
yeah.
She looks at those and says, actually, that was my doing. I found this place, this cave, 10 years ago, and I started planting the little seedlings in this soil and growing it.
Where'd you find the seeds?
I found this place that was brimming with fresh water. It was coming up from an underground well, and that's where I found. That was the state of this cave when I found it. It was still devoid of life, but there was fresh, clean water coming up from below the earth. And a week later, I came back here, and I heard someone following me, and I grabbed my knife and I hid in the corner, and I doused my torch, and my lantern. I doused my lantern. But the person who came down wasn't here to hurt me or kill me or take me away. The person that came down here was an elf. And it wasn't the elf I knew. It wasn't Zerus. It was someone who I'd never met before, a traveler, and an older elf, older than Zerus at least. They had creases in their forehead and lines around their eyes, and we talked for hours. We talked about how this was a sacred space, a sacred place, and that elf gave me the seeds that I grew here. And one of the seeds, that elf told me to plant it in the island in the middle. That has grown into, it sprung fully formed on its own in a matter of minutes into a single bloom that casts light like this.
A sunflower, maybe?
I mean, it could be.
3 psychic damage.
And why didn't you tell anybody about this place?
I haven't told anyone about this place because the elf told me something that didn't come true. The elf told me that as this place continued to grow and continued to, these plants would cleanse the land around it, and that they could even bring life back to the trees on the hill if this sacred spring was allowed to work its power through new plant life. But it's been 10 years, and the trees haven't come back. A week later, I was taken. I heard footsteps coming down the tunnel again. I spent most of my afternoons down here trying to help the plants grow and see what would happen. And I heard footsteps, and I came out into the tunnel to welcome my friend. But it wasn't the elf. It was a group of hobgoblins.
So they knew about the tunnel.
They had somehow learned about this place, and they came and stole me away.
Well, if they know about the tunnel...
That's why I had you set the trap. I do wonder if we have some coming now.
We should check.
I'm like off on the other side of the room saying this to you.
We should
What?
Maybe we should check to make sure. Because if it's the hobgoblins, we should know. But if it's the elf and it fell in the hole, we should probably let them out.
Elf in the
Fair.
hole. Elf in the hole. Yeah, let's see. Oh, nice outfit, by the way. Like, I don't think any of us have complimented you yet. Good work.
Thanks.
10-year-old magpie.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I think
It is beautiful in here, yes.
we should tell people about it.
No,
We should keep it safe for now.
People need water. People need food.
but at the same time,
Yeah,
something
you got
like this seems to be very valuable in this world, and the amount of people who need it, I think it would overtax the magic here.
I just have to say, if any of these plants are edible, I have no idea what they look like. I don't know what any of these flowers are, or any of these trees or anything.
Lemons,
Well, I
anything.
think
How
I would know
y'all
about
not
that.
get scurvy? Like,
That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Lembas bread is actually full of oranges.
It's a pure loaf of vitamin C baked into a shape.
They have one a day.
I think I would know a little bit about the difference between edible and inedible, at least from my travels with Zephyr.
Absolutely. You look around and...
Can I run down the hall?
Yes.
Because I'm going to start doing that.
Sure.
Take some light with you.
You're going to continue your investigation.
Just run into a wall.
oh, wait, I'll go with you.
Okay, I'll run
Okay.
and I'll grab the back of you.
I'm not running. I'm walking briskly. I'm power walking.
I'm like trying to drag you, but you're not.
Crown of power walk.
This is like a mall situation, like child leash.
So do you light the lantern? Do you grab...
No, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so you're
I can
just
see.
following blindly CROWNAH into the dark.
What a fun adventure!
So, Saranon, you, first of all, you look around this chamber and you see that one of the saplings that has been planted is a cherry tree. And it has a few blossoms on it, but it looks like it's still too immature to bear fruit. You see a couple of other plants around here, but to the best of your knowledge, none of these are fruit-bearing plants except for one cluster of grapevines that has grown up around a very makeshift trellis.
So they got anime and they got alcohol.
Exactly, and that's all you need in life.
How did they get anime?
Cherry
tree.
blossoms.
Oh. That's dead ass just like, oh yeah, a little round red fruit, huh?
The burgeoning underground anime industry here in Tenebrae.
But I was also looking for symbols of Kiev.
And that search will continue to take you some time. Tico, you
I'm just like turning over like everything.
Where is it? Tico, you are blind in the dark. CROWNAH, you can...
As usual.
You can see fairly easily 60 feet out in front of you, and so you're briskly walking up this tunnel, curving around slowly, and it's all in black and white, so the shades of black and gray that you're peering through are kind of murky, but when you reach about the midpoint of the tunnel, there is a point in the 10-foot width of this tunnel that is just black. It is a shape about 15 feet tall, and you can see the shape of about a head, a human-sized head at the top of this tall shape, and it seems as though it is draped in this faintly crinkling and swishing like a cloak of leaves. You can hear it as it slowly shuffles towards you.
ASMR.
Yeah, let me get real close to the mic.
Yes, I need that audio.
I'm gonna.
So I don't see this.
I'm also gonna.
Yeah, you can hear the faint rustling of dead leaves.
And I'm like,
but,
yes, ASMR.
but you have no idea what's making it.
Crown, is that you?
I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers on it.
You want to whisper at me, buddy? You can whisper back.
Hey, how you doing, little mama? Let me whisper in
Oh,
here.
yeah, funny.
Thank you. I've been holding on to that one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Oh.
whip out Sudden Death and just, do the fucking sawing, screeching
Yep.
cello sound.
Signature move. And does that mean I have to make a saving throw?
What if
You
it's a
have
nice
to make
die?
a wisdom saving throw.
That is an 11.
That's not it. That you can't do it.
Wow, the card says right here, you can't do that.
It just says no.
Yeah, interesting.
It
says no anime allowed.
Yeah, you have to move as far away from me as possible, and after taking this 3d6 of psychic damage. Oh, that's not good.
What if he's a cool dude?
Yeah, what if it's an ent?
What if it's the elf?
It's a 15-foot tall
can be
shuffling leaf
big.
man.
I think it's an ent.
That's 7 damage.
All right. You play your horrible song, Kiko. It doesn't feel great to you.
No,
It's
I
not
hate
hurting
it.
you.
Why are you doing this?
You hear this very raspy, this sharp screeching intake of breath, and you see, CROWNAH at least sees the figure, its arms spread wide and the cloak behind it billows out, and it begins to like shrink backwards. It's not walking, it's not gliding, but its feet just sort of drag backwards along the floor as if pulled by a wire. And it actually swoops towards its right and begins to spiral around, corkscrewing around the hallway as it flees.
What the fuck?
Alright, you're right.
And it keeps this bizarre, tiny whistling of wind noise as it curls around the hallway and disappears from sight
And I
behind
didn't
you.
see anything but like a black silhouette.
As it began to move, you began to see more. It seems like it looks like a 15-foot tall creature whose skin is made of withered wood, wrapped up in a big black cloak that is like dead leaves sewn together.
Okay. I don't like that. Hey, Tico, there's like a monster out in this hallway, and it just sort of did this corkscrew thing backwards.
Is that why you had to play that horrible song?
Yeah. So we probably have to kill this.
Where to go?
Do I still see it?
No, it is curved around the corner of the tunnel. It's disappeared from sight.
Oh,
Yeah.
towards the water?
No, upwards.
Oh, okay. Phew.
It hasn't gone past.
Yeah, it went back.
How did it avoid the hole?
It seemed like it could float a little bit.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't think the hole did much to stop a floating monster.
I mean,
I guess we should go back to the room.
It looks like it could have fallen in, but it's also 15 feet tall and it fell into a tent.
It just stepped out.
I tripped into this pothole.
Okay, we should tell the others, right? We should tell them?
Yeah, I guess so. Alright, let's go back.
All right.
I'm like ass deep in some dirt right now. Where is it? I know it's in here.
So, Saranon, you're wading through the water a little bit, and you come to this island in the center. And here in the center of the entire chamber, a tangle of barbed vines is wrapped around a glowing orb of golden light, probably about, here they come again, about the size of a basketball. Yeah. And it's almost too bright to look at. But embedded in the soil of this grass-covered islet is a silver charm. And it is in the shape of a broad leaf, and inscribed in it is the spiraling symbol of Kieva.
Do we burst in at this point?
Yes, as a Saranon is a little over knee-deep in water looking at this silver charm, you rush back into the room.
Hey, y'all.
Monster!
Yeah, that. There's a big old leaf monster. With
What?
a big old tattered cloak just sort of floating around in the hallway. I chased it off a little bit, but
Not
might
a
be back.
hobgoblin, not an elf. It was definitely not.
It was 15 feet tall. It had a hideous black cloak.
And it was like...
It was sort of a leaf man.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, should we leave?
Yeah, I think
No,
we should.
I can't. I can't.
I can't believe you.
I can't believe you've done this. I cannot leave. I have found the symbol of Kiev.
And we should protect the plants. What if it comes in and ruins all this?
Okay, but we can protect the plants by going back into the hallway and killing the thing. So
Yeah, alright, that does seem better.
yeah, and we can come back here for you to look at your plants or eat dirt or whatever it is you're doing here.
I can do both.
Eat your
Thank
dirt.
you.
Okay, let's go. Let's
Magpie
go.
nods, okay, we should definitely go out and get this thing. And just as she says that, you feel a chill pass over this room. And the golden light in the middle of the room flickers a little bit, like a flame blown by the wind, and it cools almost, casting the silvery blue light over the chamber, as from the entrance, this tall creature drifts in. It's hunched because of its own massive height, such that its head is practically at its chest. Its long arms trail just inches above the ground. And it looks about with these two pinpricks of blue flame glowing in its skeletal eye sockets. It looks like an emaciated human body that has been made up entirely of wood. Its mouth opens and it looks like it's trying to form words, but only the whistling of wind emerges from its mouth. Let's roll initiative.
Okay.
Oh man, I feel bad about hurting this thing.
Hunched leaf person.
Well, they probably were healthy before.
And Magpie looks up and she says, "Oh my god, I don't know what to do."
We'll do something.
Yeah, here's something. And she takes off her spike bracer and she hurls it, and this spike disc flies right at the creature and strikes it, ripping into its bark for a 2 damage. And then it whirls back through the air and she catches it in one hand. And she says, "Okay, that should have hurt it a lot more than it did. Like that would have torn a guy's throat out. This thing is really hardy."
What is it?
tree.
CROWNAH, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna use the longsword and stab it. Like so. Oh, cool. That's a 25 to hit.
Hey, that's a hit.
And then it's 10 slashing damage.
Very nice. This longsword looks like it is. So you unsheath it, and here's what happens: you unsheath this pitted, chipped, old-looking longsword, and it seems as though when you bring it out of its scabbard, it tries to glow with a sort of internal magic, but it sputters and flickers so that it's just a hunk of iron when you wield it in your hand. Wait a second, did I call it a +1 longsword before?
You did.
Yes, so it is a +1 longsword, so it does have that sheen of sharpness along its blade, but it seems like it's trying to exude greater power. But your 10 damage cuts through its damage resistance. And that magical blade carves through the tough armor of its bark. At the end of your turn, that silvery light that's glowing in the center of this room reaches out a little tendril. And the tendril of glowing light is about 3 feet long at this point, just rippling and reaching towards you, but not getting even across the water.
Can I do like an insight check on that light?
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. See what it's trying to do. That's a 4.
Man, that light
Sure is bright, huh?
sure got an arm. All right, that brings us to
Light
Tico's
doesn't
turn
usually
with the
do
Serenon
that.
on deck.
Gosh, okay. Do I notice the light?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Well, 21.
Oh yeah. You see this little arm reach out for CROWNAH.
Okay. For CROWNAH specifically.
Yeah. You're about 7 feet away from it, where you are in the room right now.
Okay. All right. And how far am I from the tree monster?
If you're right next to CROWNAH, well, CROWNAH just moved to attack it. You're probably about 10 feet away from it.
Okay. I guess I'll just go attack it. I feel kind of bad about it. I kind of don't want to.
Yeah.
I feel like... Yeah, but I don't know what else I can do. So,
Singing a lullaby to sleep.
I'm not a bard. I'm just gonna attack it with the poison dagger.
Okay.
First time out the gate.
Look up what this dagger does.
Yeah, I don't know, so. Because I forgot to ask Zeus.
Right. Okay, yeah, but it is a dagger. And it definitely works like a knife.
Definitely, is kind of
It
magical.
looks like a knife and it quacks like a knife.
Yeah, you have a normal dagger on your person, right?
I have plenty. Don't make no mistake.
So make an attack as if, like with the same stats and stuff, as if it were your normal dagger, and I will do the rest.
Okay.
Since you don't know what its properties are.
Right, yeah. Hey!
Yay!
The box is magic.
Thanks, Wormwood Gaming.
Thanks, Wormwood. That's a 24.
Yeah, that is a hit, all right. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. Not great damage, but...
You need a great sword for great damage.
Okay. 4?
4. But that 4 damage, nevertheless, seems to cut through the damage resistance of this creature. Much like CROWNAH's magical blade, it is not impeded by the damage resistance. Very nice.
Okay.
And you retract the dagger, and you see that little groove filled with purple liquid has still not spilled.
Yes.
For whatever reason, even though you just stabbed it right into a thing, nothing came out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. It seems like you would have to take some further action to
Right.
make that effective.
Plus, it also is a tree, so I don't know if this is really going to
Right,
work.
that is a fair. Okay, it's a Serenon's turn.
Yeah, could you make a wisdom save for me, please?
Absolutely. 6.
Absolutely not. Okay, so I'm gonna do Toll the Dead.
Cool.
And since it took damage, that's a D12. Okay. So 7. Yeah. So that's 7 damage.
Okay, good.
And then for my bonus action.
And what kind of damage is it?
Necrotic.
Okay.
Ooh.
It does seem to resist necrotic damage.
Of course.
Dunk. Well, I'll remember that. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Very nice.
So, big ol' sword appears.
Flaming Neurogalian greatsword.
Yeah. And then to cast it, it just appears, right? Or do I get to make an attack?
You do get to make an attack.
Tight!
You get an attack as part of the casting.
And nice. Okay, let's do it. What's my spell?
Oh, hey, we have the same max HP.
15 to hit.
Yes, that is a hit.
Tight. Tight. Okay. How do I do this? It's been so long since I did this. 1d8. Okay.
Yeah, force damage, which is a nice, hard to resist damage type.
Yeah.
Okay, so Serenon, you hack your giant greatsword, your spiritual weapon, into this creature, and you actually see its blade go right into its body, and like a tree trunk being chopped away by a woodsman's axe, you can see it begin to list a little bit to one side. And ooze black sap.
Nice.
This creature is bloody.
Cool.
That's gonna kill this tree.
It is its turn, and it rasps out this this half phrase. Like it is as if you took only the highest frequencies of someone speaking and ripped out all the body of their voice, and just is rasping at you. And it starts by taking one big lumbering step with its tree-like leg, and then as soon as it touches down, it seems to rush forward, surging forth like a leaf blown by a gale. And it rushes right towards CROWNAH. And it just right at you. And it is going to make a swipe attack at you with its big tree-like hand, and that's going to be a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And it is going to deal to you 11 slashing damage, and it grapples you as vines curl out from its arm and trap you there.
Okie dokie.
And it's going to take its other arm, because it can hug 2 people, because it's got 2 arms, and it's going to swoop right at you, Tico.
Okay.
And this is going to be a 15 to hit.
That's my AC, so...
And that is a hit. And it's going to deal to you 12 slashing damage, and you 2 are grappled.
Cool. What's up? You hanging out here too?
And you hear a rustling from the passage behind, and you hear the wind grow louder from behind, and you see another one of these creatures burst out from behind it and swivel around to the other side of the faintly glowing pool. And it looks at you. It has that same blue fire glowing in its eyes, and it lets out a very similar hiss and focuses its eyes on a Serenon.
Maybe they're the Guardians and we're
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I don't think we should kill them.
That's pretty much what I thought.
Yeah, but they have been corrupted.
That would not cross CROWNAH's mind. So
Yeah.
she's attacking.
That brings us back to Magpie's turn, and she looks like someone has just dumped ice down the back of her shirt. She's just sort of frozen up, and she says, "Okay, we can overcome this." And she is going to, let's see, she's going to run at the one that you 2 are being grappled by, and she is going to, here's what she's going to do. She noticed that her weapon attacks were not doing much, but that yours were, and so she is going to leap onto the arm that is holding CROWNAH, and she's going to try and make a strength check to pry its vines off of you. So, that's going to be a 9 plus 2, 11. Is not going to do it. She is on this thing. She's just trying to pull it off, but nothing going. So she's going to use her bonus action and like kick it in the shin.
Great.
And that's going to miss also.
Yeah, good job.
And she
You
says,
did
I'm
your
sorry,
best.
CROWNAH.
It's all good. It's very comfy here. Just up in a tree.
I
It's
just
fine.
can't believe we keep getting our asses kicked by plants. It is CROWNAH's turn. You are grappled as an action. So you're currently restrained, which means that in addition to being grappled, it means your speed is 0, and your attack rolls have disadvantage. You have disadvantage on dexterity saves. You can, as an action, try and make an athletics or acrobatics check to slip out of the grapple.
Okay, I would like to make an athletics check to slip out. Or acrobatics, because it doesn't really matter. That's a 12.
12's not going to do it.
Can I do another an insight check on this tree thing?
Absolutely.
Like on what it's trying to, if it's trying to communicate?
Yeah,
and
would
what
you make
it
a
is?
nature check for me instead?
I want
Okay.
to know
Speak
if
to
it's
the trees.
talking.
Are you the Lorax? Will you speak to these trees?
Please.
No, these doesn't speak to me.
You were just too freaked out by being grappled by a skeleton tree.
Natural 1.
Whoa.
I'm not a tree talker.
Oh, big surprise. Can I also do a perception check, or I guess a nature check?
Absolutely. And this is no action required.
Yeah. 13 plus 0 because,
Right, I mean, that makes sense.
yeah.
You recognize that even though it's withered and gnarled and overgrown, the bark of this creature matches the bark of the ash trees atop the hill.
Okay. I don't think we should be attacking these things.
Oh, why not? They're attacking us.
If they look like the trees on the hill. I don't know shit
And-
about trees, but I can
So will there be a third
patterns.
one? Oh, we've caught him.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we shouldn't kill them.
So then what do we do? What do you suggest we do?
Cure them?
Oh.
Are they sick?
I can do
I mean,
that.
they don't look great.
I can do that. I can do that.
All right, and so for my action, I'm gonna try to get free.
Okay, very good. Acrobatics or athletics, your pick.
Which am I
Probably
better? Oh, I'm better at
acrobatics.
acrobatics, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, hold on. No, I tripped.
It's a box.
I had a finger trip. Well, 10.
10, you have Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, yes. Thank you. 16.
16 is enough. You slip right through its tree-like fingers, and you land in basically the space right in front of it.
Okay. I'm gonna hug it.
Oh my
You're gonna get killed.
It's gonna see right back up. Wasted my bardic
It's not its turn.
Superman.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage, please.
Disadvantage, I'm very earnest.
It's very cynical.
It's been burned before. Literally.
Oh.
Well, persuasion, you say.
Mm-hmm. To shreds, you say.
10.
Okay. It gives you a look that seems to say acknowledged. And that is Tico's turn. We come to a Serenon.
How close am I to these guys?
Okay. You are, I would say, 20 feet away from the one they're tangling with, and 20 more. So, this is a circular room. There is a 10-foot wide pool of water in the middle, and you're kind of on this ring around it. They are all right by the door. You are you are 20 feet away from them on the other side of the pool, and 20 feet away and 10 feet away from you on the other side of the pool is another guy. There's like a triangle with the pool in between the three of you.
Okay.
Evil tree, and then you.
Evil. Maybe
Okay.
not.
On skeleton tree.
Can I ask one more thing? Sorry.
Yeah.
Has the light moved?
No. Oh, like
Since
the.
CROWNAH's turn is.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. The light has wiggled another 3 feet towards you. So it is now, well, you moved. It is now like 6 feet away from you.
Okay.
It's reached out 6 feet and it's just sort of stretching for you.
Okay. I want to go over to the one that's tussling with these two
Mm-hmm.
and use one of my prayer beads.
Mm-hmm.
I have one for greater restoration,
Oh.
which I want to try. One of them, it can end a curse.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try that.
Absolutely. So the prayer bead allows you to cast it as a bonus action?
Bonus action.
Okay. So keep in mind this.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It means you can't use your spiritual weapon because that's
Yeah,
your
I
bonus
know.
action. Cool.
Well, if we're not attacking them, I was
Right.
going to hold off on it
So
anyways.
you hold up your prayer bead, and there is this burst of silvery black light from it. The sort of radiance of Nerugal shines out from your prayer bead and enwreaths the tree that is lumbering towards you. And it hisses and seems to crinkle inward on itself a little bit. There is a heavy cracking sound, like the sound of a bough being snapped over someone's leg. And the light fades, and you see the creature as it was before, standing before you, reaching its arms out tremblingly, and this big cloak of sewn together leaves suddenly comes undone around its shoulders, and it looks about on one side, looks about on the other, focuses on you. The two pinpricks of blue light seem to narrow, and a snarl emerges from its skeletal jaw, and it takes another step forward, and suddenly all of the bark on its body sloughs off. And stumbling out of this skeletal husk is what looks to be a humanoid creature that has been carved from smooth greenish yellow wood with this big mane of leafy hair around it. A dryad. And it looks at you, and it says to you, "Thank you."
Yes. You're very welcome. Can you stop the other two?
That is beyond my power.
Oh, I only had one of those.
Then I don't think there's anything more we can do for them.
Oh, but I want to help all of you, not just you.
There are 3 trees on Ash Hill. There is my tree. There is its tree. And there is the tree of the creature coming down the tunnel right now. This is the way this must go. In order for new life to be born in the forest, that which is grown old and burned and gnarled must be destroyed. I will help you.
Can I make an insight check?
Yeah, absolutely.
This evil dryad. Just wants to
One of
kill
us
its
tells the
siblings.
truth, one of us lies.
That is how forest fires work, though.
22.
22. This dryad is speaking in earnest to you.
Do
Okay.
you think a dryad would ever be alive?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. You ever seen Labyrinth?
No, I haven't.
All that brother does.
Labyrinth.
Dryads and fae, they're all kind of...
Okay.
Not everything is always about Labyrinth.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I am speaking in earnest.
Okay, so one of the tree husks has been removed and replaced by a dryad.
Cool.
It is standing right next to a Serenade.
Are they hot?
I mean, this is answering for Jenna, not for a Serenade.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'll let you judge for yourself.
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of tasty.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
I don't like
Just
the hair
rock it.
much, but
It's leaves.
yeah, but like it's like split perfectly in half. The colors.
Let down your golden fruit.
Whoa.
Yay. This is the first day that we've met them.
This is a first date, ladies.
Yeah.
Could just be a hookup, you know.
There are no dates in Tenebrae.
That's a very
Technically true.
That's a very
hot-
good fruit pun you just made.
Oh, it was a fruit pun. I didn't get
It's a
it.
date.
Yeah.
Anyway. Incredible.
Yikes.
That is a Ceradon's turn.
Oh, technically I
Oh, you
still
have an action.
Yeah.
You have an actual action left. Yeah.
How
what's up?
close am I to one of the other two? Are they within melee or whatever?
So there are only 2 in the room right now.
Yeah.
The third one, the Dryad just said, is coming down the tunnel. At the very
Okay,
moment.
yeah. Where's the other one?
It is right in front of Tico and holding CROWNAH 20 feet away from you.
Yoo-hoo! Okay. Let's try Word of Radiance on that one.
Okay.
Oh no, that's only 5 feet, but it's 10 feet with Spell Sniper, and that's too far still.
That's
Yeah,
too
okay.
far.
Let's try Sacred Flame then.
Yep.
Could I get...
Good option.
All up in this thing. Just
I'm gonna
FYI.
aim for its feet.
Okay.
Makes
You're
a
fine.
Dexterity
Yes,
save.
Or its
Save.
head, like that great end
10.
in Lord of the Rings.
No, it's 12. Because
Very
it's
good.
my spell DC, right?
Yes.
12. Cool. So that's 1d8. Radiant damage. 2.
Very good. Golden fire crashes down upon it, and its boughs are lit up with.
Yes,
It's not
lit.
your golden fire it's lit with, but just regular fire that is.
Cool.
Yeah. And it takes 4 damage. It is vulnerable.
Nice.
Okay. That brings it to its turn and the Dryad's turn. The Dryad is going to act first. It is going to start by casting Barkskin, which raises its armor class from 11 to 16.
Okay.
Did you not already have bark skin?
Well,
Shred it. Sloughed off.
yeah, you
remember?
just chipped all of that off right
Oh,
there.
right.
And so its skin, which looks like, have you ever seen like a freshly chopped tree? It has a sort of smooth inner tree bark, I guess.
Sure.
Like tree flesh. Yeah, it is
Tree
suddenly covered with a hard, shimmering layer of bark, and it is going to sort of leap across the pond, only gently stepping on the water. And it is going to come across the other side, and it's about 10 feet away from you guys. And it is now the creature that's holding you. It's its turn, and it is the creature, the tree beast that has grabbed you, CROWNAH, is going to lean in its cowled, shriveled skeletal face to you, and its jaw is going to unhinge like a serpent's.
Cool.
Good.
And its vines are going to tighten around your body and pull your head up to look at it, and you feel your own spirit being sucked out of your body.
Dementor.
I would
Cool,
like you to make
cool.
a Constitution saving throw, please.
Cool. Please get eaten by a tree. I think it would be cool.
It's curtains for CROWNAH. 13.
13, missed it by 1, not enough.
Do you have inspiration?
I do, whatever. I'm saving it.
Okay. Oh, by
Wow.
the way, you solved that problem, Jenna, in a way I did not expect you to.
All right.
Very
Well, I
cool.
already had inspiration, but thank you for the
Oh,
token.
well. Okay, CROWNAH, you are going to take 15 necrotic damage, and your hit point maximum is reduced by the same amount.
Yikes.
Now I'm at 5 hit points. Whoa, whoa.
CROWNAH, you feel very weak, but your spark has not been snuffed out quite yet.
All right.
And you see that little tendril of silver light extend 3 more feet, and it's now only 3 feet away from you right now.
Okay.
All right. Oh, well, that'll happen at the end of your next turn. I jumped the gun a little bit. Anyway, it is Magpie's turn. She is going to once again try and pry you out of this grip. That is a natural 20.
Yay!
She is going to leap back up,
Hero.
and you actually hear these vine-like fingers snap and just be torn off like so many twigs, and then wriggling little new growths coming out of the stumps to make new fingers.
We are Groot.
No
Anyway.
Marvel. No Marvel.
It's a
No
rule we can't
Marvel,
seem
no
to abide
Marvel.
by. And you fall on the ground on your back, and Magpie says, "Oh my God, are you all right?"
No.
And she's going to use her bonus action to do what? To kick it. She kicks it.
Why does she keep kicking it?
Because she's got monk
Feisty.
levels.
Oh, she's a monk.
Yeah, and that's enough to hit. That's a 14. So she's going to do 5 damage. Cut in half is 2. 2 damage.
Good monk.
Oh, it's a good kick. Magpie.
That brings us, actually, you hear the rustling of wind once more, and appearing at the doorway, only a few feet away from CROWNAH and Tico, is the 3rd and final tree creature. Okay, that brings us to CROWNAH's turn.
Okay. CROWNAH's gonna like wobble to her feet. She's dizzy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's gonna turn around and she's gonna swing the longsword at the one that just let her go.
Nice.
Yeehaw, 17.
That's a hit, all right.
And then, let's see, I did that two-handed. That's a 4 plus 11 damage.
Ooh, very nice. It recoils and shrieks. It is very wounded. One more hit like that will take it down.
Cool.
All right. Gonna do anything with that bonus action?
I don't have a lot I can do with bonus action at this level.
Fair, fair. Okay, that brings us to Tico with Sarah on deck.
All right.
I always forget to say Tico's on deck. I wonder why. Anyway.
Too
Kiku's
sneaky.
always ready.
Yeah, he's always ready. Well, it's because you have a lot of spells to search through, so
True.
that's
Oh,
giving you
yeah.
I do it during Kat's turn just because it takes me so damn long.
one. Fair.
Cleric move.
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess since I'm next to the one that CROWNAH just hit, I just hugged it, but I'm gonna stab it.
Little switcheroo.
That's like owning a cat.
hey, so, you have advantage on this attack because it was ignoring you because you were hugging.
Yes. That's
Which actually means you get sneak attack damage. And at
Yes.
4th level, that's 2d6 extra damage.
a sneaky hug.
Fuck yeah, baby.
I love you.
You're a real
Can you do more
backstabber.
D6?
or a bark stabber.
Oh!
I'm so tired of you.
No, I liked that
I'm
one.
over
That
it.
was really
Chico really is a cat, though, so this is a cat move for sure.
He is the cat of Omavel.
Okay, that's what his nickname was.
You plant this dagger into the tree, and it seizes up, and it seems to grow brittle and turn around and look at you. And
Sorry, bro.
as it does so, this blue fire that's in its eyes seems to swell and swell and swell until the entire tree is engulfed in this flame. It's like pouring out of its mouth and out of all of its arms.
Cool.
And it just
You made it mad. It's
and
angry.
and that place where Aceranon's greatsword cleaved it almost in half gives way. It snaps and it crashes down on the ground.
Tight.
All right, but it doesn't burn me.
No, but the grass is on fire.
Oh no!
Go splash some water on it.
That is Tico's turn.
Wait, I have a bonus action.
Oh yeah.
Bonus action splash.
I'm gonna use it to dash across to the other tree.
The new one.
The
Yep.
new one.
Absolutely.
And I'm
You
gonna-
run over there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be by it.
And you left your magic dagger in the other one?
No, actually, I'm gonna take it with me
Cool.
because that one's dead anyway. So.
Yep, you grab it and you rush over to the new one. And it glances over at its fellow who is burning and dead, and then focuses its gaze on you and
Should hug this one too.
I don't think it saw that last time, so maybe it'll work.
that brings us to a Serenade.
Okay, first things first. I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
Very nice.
Okay, I need to make a ranged spell attack.
Against the new one.
Yeah. Oh, that's cocked as shit. That's my inspiration. I really want this to work.
You're like 3 inspiration by now.
Fuck me, the other one was better.
What was the first one?
5, it's a 9 to hit.
9, no,
Kill me.
that's a miss.
Alright, well, with my bonus action, I'm gonna hit it with my spiritual weapon again.
Yep.
Is that another spell attack?
Yep.
No. Let me use a different die. You're in jail.
Deuces.
Dice jail, huh?
Damn.
Yikes.
Hey, May, come eat these.
Well, you just killed one of them in one hit last turn, so the dice giveth. Okay. It is the new tree's turn. Let's see. Ah.
What's my fucking spell list?
Okay, I like this. The Dryad is going to move over towards CROWNAH. And it is going to look right at you. Its glowing green eyes are going to lock with yours. And what it's going to do is going to hold out a hand. And that hand...
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, it's going to hold out a hand like this. It's going to cup its hands. And it's going... And actually, very much like that, a wreath of 10 juicy grapes appears in its hand.
Don't eat that.
Yeah, baby.
No!
And it hands it to you.
No, do you
Grape
really?
City, yeah. You're dumb as shit. You're a dumb motherfucker. Holy shit.
Wasn't it the Dryad?
Yeah, the Dryad gave it to
Oh my god.
you. You thought the evil tree was doing this? No. The Dryad has walked over.
I thought this was a Persephone-like situation.
Yeah, you hot? I'll do it.
Fuck.
So, usually as an action you can only eat one of these, but yeah, you just scarf these down.
Grapes are little. You
Yeah,
can
you just like smash them all in your face.
Maybe not 10 at once. Maybe like
chubby bunny.
a couple.
Yeah, so you like stuff five of those little fruits in your mouth. Each one of those berries has healed you 5 hit points, or 1 hit point.
Yeah.
So you restore 5 HP on that good berry.
Good berries.
Good berries.
We love a good berry.
Yeah.
I love
just
good.
eat the rest of them.
That's
All
as an
berries are
action,
good if you
can.
love
So,
them enough.
I will not then.
every Jamba Juice
I will say as a
smoothie
reaction, you
has
scarf
20 good
down
berries
those
to
berries.
restore.
That's
your
why I
health.
It was
use
animal
carton of
instincts.
raspberries.
I was just like, oh
my
God,
God.
same.
HP so
God,
bad.
it's so good.
Raspberries are my
The
cocaine.
best.
Raspberries
The
are
best.
good.
When they're on sale, it's like,
There's been a remarkable amount of cocaine references in this
Yeah,
episode.
I really.
are you okay?
I need something. I need a hit.
Okay. The evil tree creature. It's its turn now, and it is going. Well, Tico's right in front of it, so it is going to swipe at you twice with its big tree arms.
Oh no!
Like a little kitty.
I didn't think about this very well. But that's Tico for you.
How does a 15 do you?
15
a
is
hit?
my AC, so
Okay.
yes it is.
One's a 10, one's a 15. So this first hit hits you, and it's gonna slash you for 10 slashing damage.
Oh, yikes.
You're still okay.
I'm fine.
And you're grappled.
Again with this.
It just wants a friend.
You do
No.
Oh, that's not a grapple noise.
That's not.
It's like an octopus noise.
And that is its turn. So it's got Tico kind of under its arm.
Football style.
And that brings us to Magpie. Magpie says, "Oh my God!" And she's gonna run up towards the tree. And she's gonna leap at the tree, and she's gonna try and pry these things off of Tico.
Thanks.
she looks at you, and like a little bit of her face is like disappointed, but she's like, "Listen, this is a life and death situation. I totally understand."
Hey, I just killed that last one.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've done this.
Yes, it's gonna be a total of 20, and she.
I see. I knew you
Rips
could
those
do
tree
it.
fingers.
That's why I did it. I knew you could do it.
These are my tree wrestling arms.
And she you will fall onto the ground, and she looks at you, and it's like, teamwork.
We do our secret handshake that we
Yeah.
absolutely do, and we have that already worked out.
I mean, already worked out in the cart the whole way down. Yeah. Very good. It is CROWNAH's turn. Tico's on deck.
14.
Total of 14.
Yeah.
That's a hit.
Yeah, baby.
Okie dokie.
I have a higher armor class than a tree.
Yeah.
Nice.
9 damage.
9 damage. Yes. I think that's the first time this tree has been injured.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
First blood.
First sap.
It's maple syrup.
You are the first.
Ooh.
That brings us to Tico Saranon on deck.
Yeah, I'm free. I'm going to stab it.
Yes. And
Kick at
because
it like it's a
Magpie is
ghost.
also adjacent to the tree, if you hit, you deal sneak attack damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
As long as you have an adjacent ally, you get sneak attack damage.
Oh, that's fucking nice.
Yeah.
Because she's
Or
distracting
not
it.
Yeah, that's the
adjacent.
idea.
Okay.
No, you're Oh no, you are Jason. You ran up to it. Yeah.
Double
Double
sneak attack.
sneak.
10d6.
Yeah.
That's how doubles work, right?
Oh no. Well, that is a 12 to hit. So.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nothing doing.
Down.
Sarah, you want to do anything with your bonus action?
I'm gonna hide with my bonus action.
Okay.
Behind Magpie.
I mean, I do have very few hit points now, and I'd rather not get hit.
Fair. Make a stealth check with disadvantage because you're just hiding behind a person.
Okay.
Trees are
but I'm hiding behind. Maybe I'm hiding behind CROWNAH.
I'm even
Who is much
smaller
larger
than
than me.
Magpie. No, I'm not.
No. Crown is like 5.
Are you
what,
5?
3?
I'm 5'2".
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
The whores add extra.
Yeah, but you
she's
got a
like
cloak.
5'2".
Did you have a big ass cloak on?
It's like a vest thing.
Oh, you're not wearing the cloak.
No.
The great coat or
No.
whatever.
Oh, the
not.
military coat.
Oh no, that's what Magpie has.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
hiding behind Magpie. Oh, yeah, it's not bad. Stealth is 19.
Yeah, that does it.
Where'd you go?
Disappear.
Hey, what? Okay.
That's the best part about being a rogue.
No consequences for your actions.
Yeah, you can just disappear.
Saranon, it's your turn.
I was too caught up. Okay.
Sacred flame, that shit.
Yeah, I really am. Yeah, I'm just gonna Sacred Flame. Can you make me a deck save, please?
Absolutely.
Don't say that.
That's a natural 20, I'm afraid. That's fair.
I'm dying.
Is that
I'm dying.
What was that?
It was a 4.
No!
Stop rolling that one.
This is the first time. The rest are over here in
Do you
jail.
want one from me?
Yeah, one of your cheating dice? Yes, please.
They're not. This one's unrolling so bad.
Thank you.
But
Maybe
here you
your luck
go.
will turn it around.
No, I gave her the one that wasn't rolling bad. So pray for me, I guess.
Thanks, babe.
Okay. It is now the Dryad's turn. And she is going to look at CROWNAH and nod. And she's going to walk over. And she's going to walk over towards one of the potted trees, one of the potted plants that's growing on the edge of the room. And she's going to touch it. And the plant is going to grow super fast. Yes. And it's going to shoot out like a grasping arm at the tree beast.
What?
You just like slash Kiki.
No, I touched her very gently.
You need some symmetry?
One side cold.
You know, it's weird. Your hands were super cold and your hands were super warm.
Ah, the turntable.
Prophecy.
You probably had yours in your little hoodie pockets, though.
One side cold, other side warm. The prophecy has come true.
Don't know what that means.
Don't worry
It's a joke
about
from
it.
like high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, the Dryad is casting Entangle upon this tree creature, and it is going to make a strength saving throw.
It's not sexy.
Ooh, but it makes it. And the Dryad, the tree beast just snaps all of the quickly growing vines that have gone towards it. Snarls. Okay.
It'd be fun if it like chomped him. No, never mind. Take that back. Strike that. Reverse it.
It is now its turn, and it is going to attack Magpie. Just going to give her a good slap. And
Like a magpie just saved me and I just
Smack
left her
that
there.
all
Like,
on the floor.
Well, you didn't. You hid behind her.
yeah.
That one is
so she
gonna
would take
hit.
it.
No.
And she is going to take 5 plus 4, 9 damage.
Oh, that's not bad.
And Tico, you see her lifted off the ground as she is grappled by the tree. Now.
Okay.
You're like, oh my god!
Why does this keep happening?
Bye, magpie, I guess.
It is Magpie's turn, and she's going to struggle against this tree and try and make an acrobatic check to get out. No. And as a bonus action, she's going to headbutt the tree.
Nice.
Kicking didn't work.
I respect
so.
And that is going to miss.
Gets a face full of splinters.
Ow.
Ooh,
That
is
is
that
her
wood?
goddamn turn. CROWNAH, it's your
She's
turn.
not doing well with the unarmed strikes, huh?
No,
Um.
guess not.
I'm trying to think if I should help free her or like just keep stabbing this thing.
Just fucking kill it.
Can I? I'll try. Okay, let's stab it again. Same old, same old. Mother. Oh, that's fine. 21.
21, yes. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
3 bags full.
Yeah.
What?
Wow, not black sheep.
That's a 12 damage.
Nice. Okay, yeah. You stab into the tree and it hisses and recoils. And at the end of your turn, this tendril of silver light wraps around your sword arm, your right hand.
Yeah, sure.
It wraps around your right hand from the wrist, and it begins to pull you.
Oh, good.
And it wraps all the way up to the wrist, and then it continues along the blade of the sword.
Ooh.
Until it has sort of spun you around to face the light in the middle of the island.
No!
And then the silvery light flashes yellow. It flashes back to gold, and the orb in the middle turns gold, flooding the room with golden light, and that golden light travels up the arm, and it spirals around your arm and around the tip of the blade, and then bursts, or the tendril bursts in this shower of golden sparks. And you see, you stagger backwards. You are healed 10 hit points.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
Up to your current hit point maximum.
Thanks.
Which is what, 16 right now?
It's 16 currently.
And you feel reinvigorated by this, and also your sword is now, its edge is no longer just sharper than usual, but it is glowing with golden light.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Ooh, okay.
Can I get some of that juice? Come get that juice?
The light looks at you and says no.
No. So the sword is holy again.
Well, I don't know. It's just sort of full of light. It's all filled up.
I'll look at it again later.
Battery's full, babe. No. I would not be giving you a holy Avenger at the 4th level. Not fully anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. That is Tico's turn.
All right, I'm going to try to free Magpie, but by stabbing at the branches that are holding her.
You guys are just going to trade places back and forth forever.
Yeah, that's called friendship.
Sometimes you're being held by the tree, sometimes you're getting the other one out. It's a metaphor, babe. Depression is the tree.
Can I still be hidden? Because
if you're attacking, then no, you're giving up your hideout.
But is it a sneak attack?
Sure.
Because I was hidden successfully.
I mean, also because I'm
you were
there.
hidden, and your cover went away.
Yeah, but the tree was distracted. You got to admit.
All right, you've convinced me.
The DC was very low on that persuasion check.
I'm just a very sneaky kind of.
Also, I'm there, so you get sneak attack
That's true
anyway.
too. And you are glowing right now. Like, that's a little distracting.
Yeah, pretty distracting.
Hey, thank you.
Fuck
Yeah.
So that's gonna hit for sure because that's
Absolutely.
20 something.
Yeah.
So
If you made that sort of happy noise, I had a feeling it was gonna hit.
I didn't want to do the whole math.
Ooh. Sexy.
10.
10 damage. Yeah, that cuts through it, and a big splatter of black sap goes across the grass and seems to sizzle where it touches the new light. It is bloodied.
Okay. And I didn't leave the dagger in because I was trying to slash at the branches that she's being held by. Okay.
So you have, I'll say that attack gives her advantage on her next attempt to escape.
That's fine.
Cool.
Does she know that? Because I just want her to think that I'm not just leaving her there.
Yeah, like you went and like slashed the knuckles of this tree, for lack of a better word, and so its grip like loosens a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Cool. Saranon.
Try Sacred Flame again. Dex save, please.
Good luck, friend. How's 11?
Nah, baby, 12.
All right.
All right. 1d8. Oh, 2. Well, garbage. 2 damage.
2 damage.
Okay, and then I'm gonna try Spiritual Weapon again.
Good luck.
Not guiding bolt?
Nah, baby! This is that new shit. What the fuck do I do?
Spell attack.
Okay. Natural 20!
Hey!
Good dice!
The dice
Good
give
dice! Okay.
Just needs
So
to change a
this
mojo sometimes.
2d8 since it's a nat 20. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then,
Plus my spellcasting modifier.
yeah.
Cool. So that's 4 plus 4, 8 damage.
That is Saranon's turn. It is a Dryad's turn. It tried to entangle, but it has more. It's going to try and entangle one more time. Try and entangle one more time.
Okay, it's Brittany Day, you know?
And with an 8, the creature is going to fail this time. And so that tree that was snapped and broken from before leaps up again, now in many pieces, and wraps around the beast's legs. And so now it is restrained as long as the Dryad concentrates on that spell. So its speed is 0. Attack rolls against it have advantage. Its attack rolls have disadvantage, and it has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
I'm not going to remember all that.
That's fine.
I know that.
The creature that was just entangled is going to attack now, and is going to try and bash Tico in retribution.
Good try.
But it has disadvantage, so it is going to roll a 9.
Nope.
And its fist is into the ground, but then it has another attack! And it's going to go. And that is going to be cocked, but I believe that's ultimately a 7. So the Dryad's vines are just sort of wrapped like shackles around its wrists and straining against them. And it gives you enough wind up to dodge out of the way.
Yeah. Oh, I parkour out of that situation.
Oh, yeah. Very good. That's Magpie's turn. She is going to try and slip out of there with advantage because of Tico's actions. She makes it.
Yay!
And she slips out, and with the bonus action, she is going to kick it.
Just relax for a little bit.
Yeah. She's just going to kick it. And that is
Yeah.
And she's going to deal 3 damage to this thing. Wow. That was good. CROWNAH, your turn. Tico, you're on deck.
Okay, let's keep swinging this sword.
Is it not bloodied yet?
It is bloodied.
Okay.
So your sword now glows with golden light.
Bro.
No!
What is it, friends?
My shiny new golden sword rolled a nat 1, so...
You were blinded by
You
it.
have advantage because it is restrained.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Roll a different die.
this one's also rolling back.
Roll your big one.
You're rolling mine.
What?
Roll your big
Okay, I'm
one.
gonna roll my big one.
Big golden die. It's going to get a 20 and glow.
It did not get a 20 in glow, it got a 4, which means an 11.
Well.
+7 to hit is still pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whoop. You swoosed. That brings us to Tico.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to kick it.
Okay, go for it.
I just joined the kick brigade.
Why are you doing it?
That's a 10 to kick.
No.
You just swing and flail your leg like a can.
I look at Magpie and I'm like,
Magpie looks at you.
oh, we're done.
Oh, God.
Your
Okay.
turn, Tico.
I am going to attack with my dagger.
Yep.
Yay! Thank you for being grappled. But that's still not going to do... Well, maybe it will. 16?
16 hits.
Yes.
And because you had advantage on that, you have sneak attack.
Yes. Love being so sneaky.
Yeah.
10.
Very nice. This thing is in real dire straits
Oh my
right
God,
now.
I thought it would die for sure.
Okay. Give me a dex save and it's at disadvantage, baby!
1 is gonna be a 7.
Nah, baby. 1d8 radiant damage coming your way. That's 4.
Nice.
Okay. And then
Hanging on by a thread.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna hit it with my spiritual weapon again. And it's still at advantage, right?
Yes.
Cool. So one of them is a natural 19. And the
That's
other one's
a hit.
Yeah. Cool. So that's 1d8 plus my spellcasting modifier, which is 2.
Yes.
6 damage.
And you hoist your greatsword up and cleave right through it.
Nice.
And you slice through the tree evenly, and its top half crashes to the ground, and it begins to slowly rot away.
Can I take a piece before it dies?
Sure.
Right, give me some new shit.
No, I want this old shit. I put it in the book real quick.
Okay, yeah, you grab this rotting necrotic piece of bark,
Ugh.
and it's all gross and slimy.
Nice.
And,
That does
you-
not faze me at all.
And you slap it right in that book.
It's all wet now.
Yeah.
What about the golden sword? What happens to it?
So the golden sword, as the last necrotic creature dies, you see the golden light around the blade begin to fade. But when it fades away, you get you're not blinded by the sword anymore. You get a closer look at it. And so this sword has a silver hilt wrapped in black leather strips, and the crossguard is in the shape of two birds' wings. And it extends into a steel blade that seems to glow with a faint silver sheen of magic. It's all dented and a little bit rusted, and the blade is nicked. But looking at it now, the blade seems to have repaired itself completely, and the cracks and chips in it have been repaired not restored like steel, but filled in with sharpened gold. And
like that Japanese pottery.
Yeah. And yeah, and there is a gem inlaid in the pommel that was cracked, and bits of it had fallen away before, and now that gem has been restored. It is a single fire opal that seems to glow very faintly with internal light. So that golden glow that disappeared from the blade does not seem to be gone forever, but it is dormant inside the sword's gem.
Huh. Can I go investigate? Like, can I wade out to the pond and go investigate where the light came from?
Absolutely. Yeah, you go over there. You see the little charm with the symbol of Kieva that Saranon found earlier, just sort of embedded in the soil. And you see that there is a orb of golden light surrounded by sticker bushes, basically.
I'm going to touch it.
All right, you reach your arm in.
I wanted to do that.
Make a dexterity save real quick to not, snag yourself on the pricklers.
Okay. It's a nat 20. Where were you when I needed you? With me. You're right. I saved your life.
Yeah, and you, with utmost dexterity, you get your arm right in there, and you touch the golden light, and your hand passes through it. It's just light. And your fingers touch what feels like flower petals. And you squint your eyes and you look in, and it is indeed a sunflower that is grown in this little island. And it fills your hand with warmth.
Oh, okay. Can I, shake it a
No!
little bit?
Don't do that!
Just to make the light in the room just sort of
Yeah, you
turning a raven
you
here.
with 3 fingers, you bobble the head of the sunflower a little bit, and it shakes back and forth, and the light and shadows cast in weird directions all around this room.
From the back of the room, don't touch that!
Can I pluck one single petal?
No!
Just want to take one petal.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah! Absolute bastard.
You plug one petal,
You're gonna ruin this whole world.
and you feel a little, and a tiny little golden spark pops out of the flower, and you have this petal, and this.
I fucking dare you. I fucking dare you.
And
That's Jenna talking, not Sarah. Jenna has no place in this world.
and so you look at this flower petal, and 2 things strike you.
Me.
Her 2 fists.
What did I say? We just had this talk.
You don't see this. It's a small motion.
The first thing that strikes you is this petal is attached to a tiny seed pod. And the second thing is that flower petals have a tiny little vein structure.
Please tell us about the anatomy of flowers.
Yeah, so this is sophomore biology. And no, but all flower petals have that little vein structure in them, but this one is very interesting in that its vein structure makes up the 5-star symbol of Elo.
Elo.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because it's a sunflower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tuck this away, fold it.
Cool. You tuck it away. It doesn't seem to be radiating light, but it does seem to be incredibly healthy and golden.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Interesting.
That's sort of fun. Hey guys, this little flower helped me out here. I wonder if I can pry this gem out of the sword. She doesn't deserve this.
Maybe don't touch the sword that you just made not desecrated again. It might help you if the gem is inside of it. Then, do you want me to identify it for you? See what properties it has.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Alright, and I'm gonna cast Identify for 10 minutes. Buckle in.
Alright, well,
And also,
do that.
Tifa needs his shit identified.
Oh, yeah. I'll do sword in one hand, dagger in the other.
You're just sitting there like,
Just looking for 10 minutes.
Okay. So, first one. And now that Jen has done this, I'll get a spell card or a magic item card to you on this, and for you also. The first, this is a blade that was once a holy avenger, and
This is all coming out of my mouth to you.
Can you please do the
Stitched
accent?
with the phonograph. No, this is not verbatim, y'all. So
you're so funny. You are so hilarious.
so this is a sword called the Fallen Avenger, and it is it's currently called the Awakening Fallen Avenger.
The sword tells me its name.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fallen Avenger 2, The Awakening.
Yeah. When you had it first, it was the Dormant Fallen Avenger. It is now the Awakening Fallen Avenger, and it is a +1 sword. And it deals an additional 2d10 radiant damage to undead and fiends.
God, I really should have that. This needs to be my sword.
It deals an additional 2d10 radiant damage to fiends and undead, while attuned to by a paladin.
Fuck.
If you don't have paladin levels, it is just a +1 longsword.
Wowzers.
Yeah, like it's Valor's sword. She's gonna be helping us. We're gonna have to give it back to her eventually.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I'm like still holding it and I'm like...
Aceranon, the other blade you're identifying right now, is a dagger of venom.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my normal dagger is +5.
Yeah, so it deals is +6 to hit.
Okay, cool.
And your normal dagger is 1d4 plus something.
+3.
+3, so it's 1d4 plus 4.
Cool.
And also, as an action, you can cause thick purple poison to coat the blade, and it remains there for 1 minute, or until an attack using this weapon hits a creature.
Nice.
That creature needs to make a Constitution saving throw, or take 2d10 poison damage and become poisoned for 1 minute.
Heck yeah.
And once you make the poison, it recharges whenever you complete a long rest.
Cool. Thank you.
So I'll give you a full magic item card on that some other time.
Rad.
You probably don't get
Can
give me
I?
one because I'm just gonna give it back to Valorant.
Well, you might use it in the interim.
We might not let you give it back to Valorous.
Yeah, that's true.
You might take a paladin level.
Can I talk to the Dryad?
Absolutely. It is sitting cross-legged by the pond, and it actually has it's not sitting cross-legged by the pond. It is stooped by the pond, and it's got some water in its hands. It's walking over to the burning grass.
Right.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna help it.
Let me see if I have any water
So this
spells.
is while you are identifying stuff. So they're taking care of it while you're identifying.
I'm gonna just empty
Okay.
my water skin because I can just refill it.
Oh, good idea.
Maybe
Yeah.
onto the burning.
Yeah, and after a little bit of this, the blue fire goes out.
Cool.
And the Dryad looks over at you, and it bows deeply, and it first says something to you in Sylvan, which is gobbledygook to you.
Don't know it.
And then it sort of scrunches its mouth, and then tries again in Elvish.
I understand some Elvish.
Okay. And
maybe like 4th grade level Elvish.
and it says to you, "Thank you so much."
I'm gonna try to reply in Elvish, but that's like 2nd grade level.
Okay.
You welcome.
A 2nd grader can talk. Like.
What do you say to it?
I think I'm gonna say, how long have you been here?
She replies and says, "My sisters and I have been spirits of these ash trees for, well, We lived for nearly 100 years, and we've been dormant for a very, very long time.
Because the ash trees died?
Because the trees died, but they didn't die naturally. They became... It's like they fell into a deep, deep slumber. And so did we. There was a poison that seeped up from the land. And all of the life in this world, all of the trees, the plants, they were suffused with it.
I don't know
like,
that.
What?
Yeah.
But I translate real quick.
And it goes on to say, there are many, many trees like us that have been trapped in dreams like this. And while we were poisoned, our will was not our own. Those creatures, and she looks towards the monstrous tree-like beings, they are Mandrianos. They are like the corpses of dreaming trees, of dreaming dryads. They awakened when your friend, and she looks to Magpie, found this place, found that there was still life beneath the earth. And they began walking about, making this cave their home, trying to devour the life in it for themselves, snuff out the light. But even they could not do that, not entirely.
Do you know why things can grow here?
This is a blessed place, and a being came here maybe 10 years ago and began planting seeds, a devotee of our goddess.
Was it a priest that left?
Wait.
Yeah, because the previous ones were of Kiev.
Of Kiev? Oh, okay. But why wouldn't they tell me?
I do not know. Beings of flesh and blood are strange to us. We cannot distinguish one from another very well. But this place has been a wellspring of life for many years, centuries even. We believe it is somehow blessed by our goddess.
Kieva.
Yes.
What's your name? Sorry.
She says something to you, but it's in Sylvan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there something you would like to be called?
As long as we can return to our trees and heal them, I do not mind being called anything. The trees can be awakened from their dormant state. I believe that is true. Now that since I've been saved from this fate, I can awaken my tree. And since the poison has been killed, and she looks towards the necrotic, the Mandrianas that are dead on the floor, now that the poison has left my sisters, I think they can be reawakened too.
Oh, Dunk, nice.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Here we just didn't kill a couple of dryads.
I know, I was worried we just kind of killed your sisters.
Well, after a fashion you did, but...
Sorry.
But like all things, they enter a cycle of sleep and rebirth. They will return in time.
Do you think
that sounds tight?
Do you think there are other places like this in the world?
I don't know beyond my own grove of trees, but I suspect so. I don't think that things are as dire as they seem.
Do you think that if we took any of the plants in here and tried to plant them above the ground, if it would work?
Possibly. You should take some of the plants, some of the soil, and some of the water. It could be any of these things.
I do wonder if it has something to do with the light.
It could be.
Oh, yeah, because the sun is messed up.
Yes, and I do not want to take any of these out of here. If it is that light that is keeping them alive, I would feel terribly guilty if anything in here were to die.
Yes. I do not know the answer. You will have to experiment and find out for yourself.
Maybe we
I
take
wish-
one.
Just take a few, yeah.
Yes.
It'll grow back.
This place is the seed of new life. Don't do not take so much that you will cause it to wither, but if you take a cutting from a tree, it will grow into a new one.
Would I have anything like that in the plant book?
Like
something that I could plant in here?
No, I think all your leaves are just sort of pressed and dried.
Okay.
Let's bring this session to an end. Is there anything that you want to do before we call it a day?
Saranon wants to go meditate in front of the light, like with the symbol of Kiev.
Cool.
I'm gonna. And can I look at the water and see if it's drinkable?
Absolutely. Okay. A nature check.
Well, that's 14.
Hey, pretty good. It is pure water.
Like fresh water.
It's cleaner even than some of the water you've found in Nomavel.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to refill my cask and I'm going to take a little sip.
It's delicious. It's crisp. It's pure. Yeah.
Nice.
It almost seems to have like a flavor of its own.
Ooh.
But yeah.
I'm gonna play a Song of Rest.
Nice.
Yeah, so during a short rest, friendly creatures who can hear your performance regain additional hit points when they spend hit dice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and the dryad turns to you, CROWNAH, and she puts one hand on the on your shoulder, and she says, "That creature that my sister became stole some of your vital spark." And she looks towards the golden glowing orb in the middle of this chamber, and she says, "It's not too unlike that, but deep within you. If you rest and recuperate your energy, it should restore in time. Complete a long rest and your hit points will go back to normal."
Okay.
Cool. Is anyone down any hit points?
Yeah.
I mean, we all are.
Well, I'm not. I didn't get hit at all.
Or I guess I'm at my max HP, so not really.
How many hit points do I get from hearing the next song?
Well, you have to roll your hit.
Yeah, so...
Hit dice is like long rest or short
rest.
Okay, cool. So you get to.
We can worry about this between games.
A
Let's
D6.
not,
Okay.
Yeah, let's not stress it.
Okay.
But I play a nice song on sudden death.
Okay, so you all gather around this pure spring, and you rest. You take a short rest in this sacred place, and recover your energy. And that's what we're gonna pick up next week. Great game, you guys.
Yay!
Yeah. All right. See you later. Bye now.
Bye.